So it looks like we're live. Anyway, it's quite the weekend. I took the weekend off to sit back and relax and kind of collect my thoughts. So I apologize that there was no videos this weekend, no movie club, no pre-tapes, anything. Um, this weekend I sat back and I watched WrestleMania. Also did some retro gaming, which is kind of fun as well. And take off my shoes for a second. Welcome to the movie club. It was interesting weekend. I took time, well, after taking time off, I decided, well, if I can't do like a video, what I do is I just, snap some pics around the movie library and I put them on Instagram, put them on Twitter, put a couple of them on Facebook, that type of thing, to let you guys know I'm still here and I'm still around. Now, the response that I got on Twitter kind of blew my mind. Hey, Tommy Films, how's it going? Oh, let me see. Tell you what, I'm going to try it a couple ways. I need you to tell me if it's better or worse, okay? So you're my tester here. So how about now? So I'm going to try two ways. This is with this muffly thing on, whatever the hell those things are called. Okay, so what about now? Better? And the only other thing I can do is that. So hopefully, on my phone? I don't think so. Weird. Not quite sure. Let's just see. Let's try one more thing. Since I don't want to scare people away with inadequate sound. I'm recording with my iPad. So I am using this this here. So let us try my other microphone. I've got a couple here. About a pack of these, so hopefully they're good because they did cost a bit. And unlike some YouTubers, I don't have the fancy patrons or anything like that I go by. So whenever I get something, usually it's me that's getting it. So let us try to change this out. This is what we call, this is the fun part of YouTube and like in the whole. This is what's fun about live, guys. You get to see behind the scenes. So right here, I put in my 3.5. I will eventually put in my 3.5. All right. So this here would be a brand new microphone that I'm using for the very first time. So hopefully this one, sound-wise, is a bit better. Perfect. Though it worries me with the quality of the Stummy, and that I just bought this last week. So this is a PowerWise microphone that I'm using, and I'm going to put this one over here to see if I need to do any kind of tweaking with the with the microphone. Completely different thing. Anyway, so I did my my Twitter thing, and what kind of blew me away is that I ended up with just a regular Twitter post that got over 2,000 likes and got retweeted over 170 something times. So I'm not a Twitter person very much. So when I get a like on my Twitter, it's a big deal. When I get 2,000 likes, it's a very big deal. Anyway, so that inspired me that I looked back at the movie library tour that I did a while back, and I think I can do it better. I think I can do it a lot better. So good news, guys. I'm going to straighten up around here, and this week I'm going to try and give you the ultimate movie library tour. Look in all the nooks and crannies, at all the companies, go through it as best as I can and do like a really big comprehensive tour. So if there's anything that you're going to want me to focus on, you can let me know, because it's going to be done live right here on the channel, and I'm super excited about it. Hopefully, if you've never seen my channel before, you'll see some of the weird stuff that I'm into. But tonight, I am talking about Vinegar Syndrome. Now this there's a double kind of like special thing for this. Right now, it's post-birthday time. My birthday was on March 31st. Now, after my birthday, hey B Movie Archives, I'm going to be showing my entire Vinegar Syndrome collection tonight, and we're going to talk about even stuff that I don't have as well that I'm going to recommend too. So please stay in for this one. And I'm going to be talking about the May sale coming up. So in May, if you've never ordered from Vinegar Syndrome or you're newer, then every May, Vinegar Syndrome has what's called the Halfway to Black Friday sale. It is a great time to jump on to the Vinegar Syndrome bandwagon, to jump onto the train, because they have amazing sales. It is like, if you're familiar with the Criterion sales that Barnes & Noble has, that type of thing, it's like that. For me, it's even better than that. If you're familiar with the Scream Factory sales, like the summer sale that he does, it's way better than summer sale. way better. Just saying. Just putting that out there. Okay, anyway, so did they make announcements Friday? I don't know. The last announcement Vinegar Syndrome made, I know they put out like the newer package, as well as doing the they had a few copies of A Diary of a Rape, I think, which they did. That was a more expensive one that they did, kind of on their. I'm not sure when their next. Now, I do have to say, and I'm totally gonna pimp, and yours truly is going to be guesting on that, when I do that, I'm going to be talking about 3 Vinegar Syndrome titles with Brian, and what we're talking about is Wacko. There's nothing out there, and we're also going to be talking about a little slasher favorite of mine. You're going to see how much my love of slashers are if you listen to that podcast, and that is Splatter University. So keep an eye out for that, and I'm very proud that that's coming up. So if either one of those 3 titles are ones that you're looking into, we did a good dive into those, and I do think it's going to be a fun episode, because Brian will make me sound good even when I don't. Hey, Celluloid Shot, how's it going, man? We're talking Vinegar Syndrome tonight. Like it's okay, I got to say this. I do this downstairs in my movie library, and when I take pictures, I show I got my retro zone here, which I call my retro zone right in the middle, right? Which is the 32-inch CRT TV with all the stuff hooked up to it. So on Twitter, I showed some pictures, and some people were concerned. Yes, I heard about the Alice Sweet Alice release, and I'm so getting that. We're concerned that CRT TV was my only television. Thank you so much, but I've got 2 55-inch TVs, one that's in the living room, and one, hey Corey, and one that's upstairs in the bedroom, which is a 3D television. I need a bigger TV, but right now 55 is going to have to do until I can get something a little bit bigger. I do want to grab at least a 65 or plus, down the road, especially for the condo. Anyway, Vinegar Syndrome. Let's get into it. So I didn't know what order to do these in. Oh, but yeah. So as was just mentioned there, Arrow Video just announced that they're doing Alice Sweet Alice. Now, right now, the only version of Alice, I got 2 versions of Alice Sweet Alice actually. I got one that was done on like one of those like VCI like multi-packs. And of course, like many people, I got the 88 Films Alice Sweet Alice. I didn't get the Blu-ray, but I got the original like DVD edition that they put out on their Slasher Classics collection. So I will be definitely picking up the remake, or the new one. Coonskin is one that they've been mentioning on Vinegar Syndrome for a long time. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that one. And of course, House on Dead End Street, right? That's another one that they've been working on for quite a while. Now, if you want to see House on Dead End Street, but you don't mind seeing like kind of an older version of it, just so you know where this is at, it is on Corruption. Actually, it's a hidden little bonus there on the Vinegar Syndrome disc Corruption, which I got to pick up during the sale, because I just want to have House on Dead End Street, like even the old version, so I can be able to like compare it to the new one when it comes out. And Corruption actually isn't a bad movie. If I think Corruption has Jamie Gillis. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to look back. Actually, I'll eventually look because we're going to look in this too after we look at my collection. So you guys ready to go into the collection? You ready to dive? So Vinegar Syndrome are known for their slip covers and their white cases. 4K of Last House. Do I own any AGFA releases? I own approximately 3 AGFA releases. As of right now, I have, gotta make sure I get this right, Lady Street Fighter with Renee Harmon. And that, of course, has the Return of Lady Street Fighter on it. I also have Take It Out and Trade, which is it's Ed Wood. And they did another Ed Wood one, Violent something. And the Violent Years, I think, something like that. And they both had extra films on them. Ed Wood, they're kind of Ed Wood, A.C. Stevens films anyway. And so those are the ones that I've got from AGFA so far. I do want to get their DVD release of Blood Lake that I've been hearing is pretty good because you guys know I'm a huge slasher fan. And I kind of want to get like the Vinegar Syndrome Blood Hook and I want to get Blood Lake and do a double feature of those two films, although they are very, very different films. It's super good. I got it. Oh, hey, John. I don't have the Sword in the Cloud, but I really want that one because if you like or you watch any of those like Turkish films, then you're going to have the Sword in the Cloud. It's going to be a given. John's completely right. The Violent Years, that's the one that I got as well. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I'm actually want to do like a kind of an Ed Wood night, a later Ed Wood era night. So I'm going to watch The Violent Years. I'm going to watch Take It Out and Trade, the other two. And I'm going to be watching probably the Orgy of the Dead as well, which you're going to see here because that's a Vinegar Syndrome title. But I should probably wait till I get that other A.C. Stevens one that came out with effects. I know, I got to get effects. That's got such a nice cover. AGFA, for anybody that's watching here and they're not familiar, it's American Film Genre Archive. And they do like they've worked with other companies as well. But they're starting to, like, there's a groundswell. They're starting to get a name. They haven't, they've been on the radar for a while, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about them. I do hear, like, every once in a while you see, like, a video probably from, like, from Cellulite Terror or kind of like Bloodbath Beyond, that type of thing. You may hear, like, an AJFA title, but you don't normally hear them spoken about enough. And when I watch my other ones as well, I wanted to do, like, kind of like talk about AGFA as a company. So you will be seeing a separate AGFA video done here in the near future. Because they're definitely a company that deserves to have some eyes put on them. Another Son of Sam. Now, didn't they put out the one that I really want from AGFA is The Zodiac Killer. Now, The Zodiac Killer was a movie that hey, perfect. We are guys, we think alike. That's it's kind of neat, isn't that the guy that made the film actually, it was the time that the Zodiac killing thing was going on. Obviously, he wasn't caught. So he was giving his own theory on who he thinks the Zodiac Killer is. So he's kind of like playing amateur detective, exactly, B-Movie Archive, in the film. It's an interesting little one, and I haven't seen it in years, but I'm really excited to see that one. There's another movie on it too as well, but I'm most interested in Zodiac Killer. Either way, AGFA, for most of their titles, they put a second film, exactly, on their, but on FX, they don't put a second film, but they do put a nice, like, making of, like, kind of behind the scenes little thing on there, like an hour or so long thing on the effects one. And it's actually usually pretty reasonably priced. Blood Lake is one that they're putting out, and that one, of course, is just DVD. I think that's because that is the best, like, copy that they can do, is to do it, like, through DVD. But either way, they got a lot of great stuff out there. And if you haven't checked out any AGFA stuff, I recommend, if you like the cheese, if you like the really, really cheese action stuff, then then I'd say start with like something like, if you want the horror stuff like that, You know, effects is good. So is like a Zodiac Killer. Both those are kind of fun films. Sword in the Claw, if you want like something kind of like really cheesy Turkish style film, want like if you're really into like really want to see like the Z grade films, that's a perfect example of that. But if you want like just kind of like the fun action stuff, and you want to go in kind of light, and you want to kind of like dip your toes in, like Lady Street Fighter, good start. And it is hilariously bad in all the ways that you want it to be. It never gets boring, but it just is kind of a strange little film. And the best thing I can say for that is that I know I said the Satanic Temple feature, is that Renee Harmon is the 50-something-year-old like action star sex symbol of Lady Street Fighter, and she sounds exactly like Tommy Wiseau from The Room. I'm not even joking. Go, you can look for, not now, stay here, but later on, check it out. She sounds like Tommy Wiseau. It kind of blew our mind. All right, so we'll start with the collection. But I love the AGFA stuff because I don't think the company gets enough credit. Are you ready for the first one? So this one is one I think's out of print, but there is a DVD release of it as well. If you're so inclined to get these films, I do like these films. And this is back when there's even a little thing on the back when Vinegar Syndrome used to do like a little streaming service called Exploitation.tv, which is what they used to like actually help fund some of their films before they became. Yes, tell me what you think of it, because John, I really want your opinion on Fleshpot on 42nd Street. More than likely, I'll be honest, that's when I spoke with Brian, that's one that we're looking strongly into doing an episode of Just to This Time. Oh, Spotty University. No, it's not off topic because I am talking about like. Did they launch today? Is it full launch? Because I heard the launch was April the 8th. So if I didn't know they launched today, like they actually did a full launch. I know that they've been showing the. Oh, nice. I know they've been showing like, you know, the one film, kind of a placeholder film for people like me that like went in early. Now, if you find it odd that I have, oh my God, today's the 8th. Sorry. Hold on. I am still here. The runny nose. And as close as I feel to you guys, it's never something you need to see. Man, this month is going so fast. So yes, yeah, so I'm one of the early adopters for the Criterion channel, much like a few people on here. I get asked a lot, especially recently. So you got the streaming stuff. Does that mean you're going to pare down on your movies? You're going to sell some stuff? Are you changing your ways? No. I get the streaming channels that I got because they make me buy more movies. No word of a lie. I will watch a movie on the Criterion channel, or I'll watch a movie on like Shudder, and then I will have to search that movie out because I want the movie with the features and the box. I can't. The thing for me is that when Netflix first came out, I know. Actually, the name Professor came from a live stream that I did once. Somebody jokingly and called me, and I think they know who they are, called me the Professor, and I used it as kind of like kind of a fun little thing. I haven't used that one in a long time, but people still say that to me. I'm not sure if it's like I know weird geeky stuff about movies, or just that I'm older and I got a beard and maybe I kind of look professorish. So it's probably a little bit of a combination of both. But trust me when I say, anytime I do a video on here, I learn just as much and sometimes more from every one of you guys out there than you can ever learn from me. And you know, that's just the truth of the matter. You got to be honest. I'll never be falsely humble, but I'll be completely honest with you. I will shoot straight. I do look like a professor. I actually got a professor jacket too, so I'll wear that sometime. I'll get a pipe, you know, the whole thing. Wait, I do have a pipe. Oh my God, I'm changing. Okay, so all right, so apparently I got to check the Criterion channel. I did not know it was the 8th already. Crypt of the Living Dead, along with House of the Living Dead, is, thanks by the way for reminding me, because I didn't actually remember that. And I'm looking to see if there's any of the Kino stuff on there. Or my knowledge of film. I think you take things quite literally, Charlie. So Crypt of the Living Dead, House of the Living Dead are it's a great little vampire double feature. One of them stars one of my favorite like kind of character actors by the name of Andrew Prine. He's in Crypt of the Living Dead, and this is another title as well, which I'm not gonna lie to you, don't remember the alternate title of, but I do like both these films. There is still a DVD release of these. There's not yet there's not a Blu-ray release of this anymore. You can go on like eBay, I think, and probably grab one. Hopefully it doesn't cost too much. It's a pretty bare bones one. It's just like both of the films on Blu-ray and DVD. As you can see, it's got the Blu-ray DVD combo pack there. And I've always been a fan of these films. I like kind of like the weird, quirky vampire films. If you like that type of stuff, definitely check it out. And really fun film. The one here directed by, well, two people. Directed by Julio Salvador and Ray Danton, as I'm looking out here. And the other one is directed by another Ray, and that is Ray Austin. So there we go. Crypt Living, the start. But the very first Vinegar Syndrome that I ever bought was this one I'm holding in my hands right now. And this is one that that everybody should definitely check out. And that one is the infamously fantastic, weird, with a song that will get caught in your ear, and you'll just be singing it for days after. And I think almost everybody, like the more comedic YouTubers that do like longer, like filmed edited reviews, have done a review of this film. And that is Night Train to Terror. Now, if you have not yet picked up Night Train to Terror, this is one of the Vinegar Syndrome early releases. This is a really good release. The best this movie has ever looked. Before I had this on like on a BCI release, and I think I may have had a Mill Creek, or kind of like a not so good looking release. The early days of Mill Creek. Remember when they were like kind of like, wow, I wonder if that movie's gonna be watchable, that type of thing. So this movie is it's a fantastic little anthology film, and it's about God and the devil on a train with a pop group that are singing this really annoying song over and over again. And God and the devil are basically, they tell three stories which are supremely not connected. And the whole premise is basically they're saying whether the person belongs in heaven or the person belongs in hell. That really doesn't matter. It's just a little thing to kind of put like three movies that were at the time didn't have enough money. They were unfinished. Most of them were thought to be unfinished. So the pretty much the truncated these films and put them into made little films out of them. Put them into this one film. What's neat about this is the second film, which is in a way the most bizarre of the films, which is about kind of like this young woman, and she meets this guy, and there's this death club type of thing. It's really strange. It's called Greta, and the thing that they did on here is there's a Blu-ray and a DVD, and on the DVD of this, as a bonus feature, there actually is the feature-length film Greta. So they have found and put together the actual full Greta on here. That is perfectly why I'm doing this. So I'm glad. And let me know after the sale happens. Let me know which ones you pick up. So again, great stuff. Commentary track by The Stereo Continues, who by now is pretty famous. Hey, Scolder, for these. Hey, Woof. For doing like commentary tracks on these titles. But this was an early Stereo Continues commentary track, as far as I know anyway. And it's a great little title. Interesting stuff. The Greta film is really interesting to check out. I do recommend that as well. So if you get it, don't just watch the anthology one. Watch the Greta one. And what's really neat about the Greta one is the girl that plays Greta, she never acted in another film again. She just has this kind of weird, like enigmatic style presence that really draws you to her. And it made me kind of sad that she never did anything else. And I kind of wondered what happened to her, and like where where she went from there, and what could have been. So I apparently I got to go on here again. It's because but if you've seen either one of those films, let me know, because we're going to go into the third one there in a second. Oh my God, I hate when it does this. So, oh yeah, you're always going to get some people like that. See, that is why. Oh, don't worry about it. Hey, Brian. I actually just mentioned Just to This podcast a minute ago. Oh, ignore the trolls. You're always going to get one or two like to come in and go out, that type of thing. But if I had like the thing is that this is one of the more cowardly ones, because they basically just kind of ran in and ran out type of thing. Like, you're not going to be able to block me. Okay. That's special. Anyway, yeah. So hi, Brian. So who just came in, by the way, is Brian. And if you missed the first of my video, then one of the reasons I'm doing this Vinegar Syndrome video right now is because we go. We have an episode coming up. Hey, Culture Training. And so if you have not checked out Just to This podcast yet, which you should be, check it out. And I have an episode coming up that I'm in, and hopefully I don't sound too bad, because Brian's really good at making me sound good, even when I sound completely stupid. So there we go. Brian's the master of that stuff. Anyway, the next title. Sorry for the distraction, guys. It kind of fun. You know, that is a Ted V. Michaels collection, and that is it's two films, and they're very much Charlie's Angels. Before there was Charlie's Angels, actually, Ted V. Michaels has said that he thinks he was ripped off by the people that did Charlie's Angels, because he made the Doll Squad and Mission Kill Fast. So these films are very much Charlie's Angels with nudity. No, I'm not lying. That's kind of what they are. They're fun films. If you've never seen them before, it's a double feature here. Yeah, we got like a commentary track with Ted V. Michaels, video interview, theatrical trailer, historical video interview with him, a video interview with actress Francine York, and a reversible cover art on here, which I will show you guys if you want to see it, because sometimes they do the reversible cover. So you got a Mission Kill Fast on here, on there, and we got Doll Squad on that side. So you can have it however you want. I think I'm going to turn it over to Mission Kill Fast, because I kind of like that cover. This is neat, but I really do like the other one, so probably going to turn it over. If you like action movies and like the cheesy stuff, if you've never had Ted V. Michaels before, then let's see. If you've never had Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. You'd be a good person with the wrench. Can you do the wrench when you're doing the YouTube, when you're like doing it live on YouTube? Before I go any further, because when I figure that out, let's see, we can definitely work on getting that done. I'm just gonna. Because we got like trolls coming in and out, and I don't mind like the whole troll thing, like when they talk about me or anything like that, or if they I don't like trolls like coming on and talking about members of the movie club, and like trolls talking about like my family or friends or anything like that. Then it comes to the point of I don't know. Try it in person. Just try it. Anyway. Wrenching is possible. I've never done it through Twitch. I do it normally through like the YouTube app is what I normally use. Now, if there's a way, if anybody can Google it, the way to give somebody like that, to give somebody a mod thing, then definitely let me know. Feel free to message me. A lot of you guys got me on either Instagram or Twitter, something like that. Feel free to message me, and and we will get it done. And that way we're not to worry about this in the future. That way you can just like squash. I know Culture Trini has done this before on like pretty well, actually. I've seen him in action. It's pretty amazing. I'm watching like one of I think it was Jace's. Was it Jace or was it one of the other streams? It was one of the streams that I watched. Anyway, let's get back to that before Aaron's got to go and slap a bitch, that type of thing. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. I'm supposed to be the friendly Canadian guy, right? I'm supposed to be the friendly Canadian guy. So let's keep me the friendly Canadian guy. So we had the same person coming in and coming out again, who was obviously coming in for the same reason, because they don't have a life. We're not going to lie. That's so I just reported them for hate speech. Because, you know, important to do that stuff. Oh, the fun stuff. Now, you guys don't need to be quiet, though. Anyway, Nightmare Weekend. Hey, and how's it going? It's been an unusual night, Andy. We're trying to get through the Vinegar syndrome stuff. We've had a few, like, particularly, like, nasty trolls in here tonight, which is kind of unusual. But at the end of the day, we'll do what they did on, like, remember Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? So we'll do it like that. So we'll get together and we'll get, like, plane tickets, and we'll just fly out and knock on their doors. Yes, sir, like shot man, stay here and stop these trolls from derailing. If you can find out, though, how I can give a wrench to somebody so that we can actually stop this thing from happening in the future. Severely like that. Anyway, what was I saying before all this? Yes. Mention. There is a person, a YouTuber, that is largely behind a lot of this. And it's really silly. Well, I've talked to like people like Jason and stuff outside of this, and they know who it is. Like we all know who it is. It's just we don't want to give them any kind of like. Is this a trauma film? Yes, it is actually. Well, it's kind of a trauma film, B-Movie Archives. This was actually I don't think it's an actual trauma film as much as it is one of the films that that Trauma, you just watched it? That Trauma kind of like distributed. Like I mentioned on my Trauma one, basically Trauma makes films, and with a lot of the money that they make from the films that they do themselves, they buy the rights, the distribution rights for other movies, and it kind of pads it to the library, and then they use the sale of movies that they are distributing to actually make more movies, and the cycle continues. That's kind of how Trauma does it. Actually, you can actually see the Trauma logo there on the back. Now, if John's just watched this, he knows what a crazy movie this is. You watch B-Movie Archives. It's a strange movie with a great cover, probably one of the best covers I've ever seen. It has really not much to do with the film, if anything at all. Dragon Ball Z has more to do with this movie than this cover does. And if you've seen the movie, then you know what I mean by Dragon Ball Z. All right, so It actually has some good features on here as well. We got Thank God It's Monday, Killer Weekend. Apparently, I just made somebody really nervous, by the way, because these started throwing out libel things. Alternate and R-rated edits, original theatrical trailers, English SDH subtitles. I'm really excited for the release of Grandmother's House. That's one that that's one of the ones that that is definitely one worth looking into. It's got Brink Stevens in it, and if you haven't seen it, it's a quirky film. It's a different film, and it's one that I really like. So if you've never seen Grandmother's House, definitely look into that one. There's a few, like the releases coming out now. The Corruption of Chris Miller is another interesting one. There a lot of ones like are pretty interesting that are coming out now. There's one which is like right up my alley. God, it's a slasher film, and it's I cannot for life remember the name right now. It's I can't find it here. Wow, this thing goes up fast. But one you guys must know what the other one is. I'm not sure what's it. Ah, it's killing me. All right, so let's go to the next one. There's one that John Steele and 4K Cinema HD definitely would probably have, and that is the classic Massage Parlor Murders. Now, much like the aforementioned Flesh Pot on 42nd Street, which I did like said that I mentioned that everybody should pick up. Then this is another one. This is kind of one you can put with it. You can like double feature with it, and that is. Massage Parlor Murders. It's a weird film, a little kind of like it's very indie, very like low budget film, and it is exactly what you think it is. And the reason that enough of that. Sometimes you just got to hit that block button, guys. Sometimes you just got to hit that block button and wait for them to come in under another name. It does have like a little like kind of a booklet with it here, which you don't see with a lot of them. It's exactly what you think it is. And also has this little kind of neat little, what do you call these things? Somebody can tell me what this is called. This section removed from real number per order of Ed Mantro. So basically, let you know like that there was like I guess a piece that was once cut out of the film, basically telling you a movie note card. Thanks, B Movie Archives. I couldn't get the name of it there. But definitely like a cool one to check out, especially if you want to see like early New York. Oh, that person's blocked. John, just to let you know, that's what I was doing on my phone. So, luckily, until they come in under another name, because you know they do that, they're probably not going to see that till afterwards. But for any newcomers, if you think, you know, like trolling's a fun thing or good idea, or you want to like attack like any guys like Culture or John or any people in here, no, nope, it doesn't fly. In this one here, guys, what it means is pretty much is that you're gonna get blocked and you're gonna get made fun of on here because you kind of trolls don't work here. It's not the atmosphere for a troll community. It's truth. It's this is live. Most people that are here, like a lot of people that are here, they know each other from on here and from like Instagram and other videos. We've done some live streams together. Sometimes we've done podcasts together. Thanks. Demonoid. Cool little film. This one is done by Alfredo Zacharias. I always got to look down at his name to make sure I get it right. And he did a couple films for that they put out. Another one that I'm going to show a little bit later was put out by them as well. I love this cover. It's just, it's not my favorite. It's a decent film. It's not my favorite, like Vinegar Syndrome film. Like it's a fun film. I do find it a little. It's been a while since I watched it. When I watched it the first time, I did find it a little bit on the slower side. But that being said, I wasn't really in the mood when I started watching it, so I really got to go back and watch it again. So I can't like go and give this one, okay, this is my... But yeah, so Demonoid. Next up, and this is done by... This one came out around the same time as Demonoid, and that one is Frightmare. And some people get this confused with another Frightmare, which is not the not the same thing at all. It's a different film. It's kind of like Freddie Main, right? Yeah. So Freddie Main, who I guess is famous for the the Roman Polanski film that he did, well, many things, but that's what I think of it right away. Really cool little film. Enjoyed this one. Kind of strange. Basically, it's about this horror. This horror actor that dies and comes, and they work on bringing him back. And actually, this one has a neat little. I really like the cover to this one here. Yeah, the other one's the old couple. That one was put by Kino John. You probably got that one, and that is over there on the Redemption label. One of the first purchases made from the Vinegar Syndrome website was Frightmare. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is, for a lot of people, is their dive-in point for Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome is known for doing like a lot of like really kind of cool, kind of cheesy stuff. And for some people, like when they think Vinegar Syndrome, when they thought early on, they thought like adult films, because he did do a lot of those, especially with their Peakorama label. But a lot of people came to Vinegar Syndrome initially when Raw Force came out. Now, Raw Force is just a crazy little film, and it's a lot of fun. It's everything you want in one of these style films. Do you like zombies and like the supernatural? Raw Force has it. Do you like kung fu? Oh, Raw Force has that too. Are you a fan of like kind of low budget like movie stars like, or once big actors like Cameron Mitchell? Well, Raw Force delivers on that. Do you like nudity in your films? Raw Force has that. Do you like really cool looking badass covers? Then Raw Force gives you that as well. And would you like some neat features like basically talking about the guy that edited it, who is Jim Wynorski, who went on to be a director to do his own like action films with lots of nudity in them? Then Raw Force also has that. It's a great one. It is a DVD Blu-ray combo pack that they put out. Again, a fantastic one. And if you haven't checked it out, if you don't have it, if it's somehow flown under the radar for you at this point with the sale coming up, and this is an older title, you can bet your bottom dollar that this one's gonna be pretty cheap. This one, B-Movie Archives, if you don't have it, it's going to be pretty cheap to grab. And I will just tell you a little bit more. Basically, when the Burbank Kung Fu Club, I'm not making this up, travels to this mysterious island of Warriors Island. There we go. Don't let this stuff affect you, man. But anyway, Burbank Kung Fu Club fighting zombie kung fu fighting, fighting zombies that know kung fu on Warrior Island. If that hasn't like sold you on it yet, I don't know what else can sell it for you. Oh, they're not getting hugs from me. So next up we have the classic Christmas Evil. This is one I am hoping gets a limited edition slipcover, because as we know, they're going to be doing slipcovers for their films, for some of their films. They haven't said which ones yet, but some of their early releases that never got slipcovers are now going to get a second chance of getting a slipcover. That's going to be showing up in their little in their sale for the halfway to Black Friday. Christmas Evil, I'm a huge fan of like excellent of like holiday horror films. As you guys know, Black Christmas is my favorite film of all time, not just my favorite horror film of all time. Oh, definitely Warlock. This is definitely one to pick up. I have the Arrow edition of this one on DVD as well, because there was a really sexy cover for it, really cool cover. Trust me, check it out if you've never seen it on DVD. But this is the Ultimate Blu-ray edition of Christmas Evil. What was neat is when this one originally came out, I think this is the one, that there was like a little, there's some storyboards. And if you go right till the end, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I think this is the one where if you go right till the end on the storyboards, there's a little message that at the time would give you like a discount on their next, on another title type of thing. So it was kind of a neat thing that they did a while back. It's a great one. There's a great like 4K restoration. We get like 2 commentaries on this. Brian will know that Stephanie is probably a huge fan of this film, especially since the great John Waters does a commentary on this film right here. And if you're a fan of John Waters, then you're definitely a fan of mine. Because, well, not a fan of a friend of mine, because I really like John Waters. You saw this back in the cinema? Man, I would have loved to have seen this in the cinema, because it is so cool of a film that it is the most Christmas horror. It is the most Christmassy Christmas of horror films that you're going to find. And if you've never seen it, then you're not going to understand it until you watch the whole film and you get to the ending, and you're going to be like, oh, that's why it's the most Christmas of horror films. You were young? My first like horror experience in a kind of in a theater, well, it was a drive-in setting, was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was way too young to be watching it at the time, but the person that I was with, you know, was babysitting me. Did I see your comment? Was it? Did I miss it? I apologize if I missed it. Feel free to repost it. I may have been looking down at the Christmas Evil thing when that happens. Now these are my blue case. These are the blue cases. The the ending. It's, if you want to see a killer with Christmas spirit, Christmas Evil is a movie for you. I got more. All right. Are you ready to go into the white cases? Because that's when you really start getting into some really kind of interesting stuff. Excuse me. Oh. Silent Night, Deadly Night got even more black. It did get more backlash than Christmas Eve. Well, Silent Night, Deadly Night got all the backlash. Let's be honest. That's the one that got all the backlash. Like nothing else got the backlash the way that the Christmas Eve did. But Silent Night, Deadly Night definitely got a lot of backlash. And one of the guys that gave it backlash ended up starring in Part 5. That was Mickey Rooney. So I guess he rethought his thoughts on Christmas, on Silent Night, Deadly Night. But again, another fantastic movie on. Double features. Are you a fan of Linnea Quigley? Are you? She was on my Google Doc list. She's definitely on the Google Doc list. I grew up watching much of Linnea Quigley's work. And from Demi Viz. Oh, really? If you get the B-Movie Archives, if you got the disc, like the kind of the Blu-ray, they actually got like the whole thing talking about it. Beyond the Door too. Oh, wow. This one, guys, this one right here. Now, mentioning this one actually plays into the whole Silent Night, Deadly Night thing. If you've seen the movie, you know why. If you haven't seen the movies that are on this, you may not be aware. So there's two films on this. There's Murder Weapon, which is a really kind of a fun one. It's my favorite of the two. They're both kind of fun, cheesy films. And the second one is Deadly Embrace. They both have Linnea Quigley having a major part in both of these films. And we get like a lot of people in these. Law Wagner, Jamaica Vincent, Jack Carter, Minnie Miller, Michelle Bauer, Karen Russell, so a ton of people. But what's really cool in this, who isn't one of these films, is is the thanks for giving me a view, sucker. So the one that's in this is, if you've seen Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Remember that film? Do you remember Garbage Day? Did you ever wonder like what other movies that guy did? Well, he's in Murder Weapon. So the star of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 actually has a role in Murder Weapon. So you might want to check it out. If you've seen Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 and you said, gee, I want to see something else with him in it, there you go. We got Vinegar Syndrome. Actually, I just mentioned you, Stephanie, because John Waters' commentary. So I know you have that Vinegar Syndrome. But if you just got here, Stephanie, you didn't hear, then I have to say, hold on a second, because I got to probably kill somebody. But I know where you live. So Murder Weapon has the star of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 in it. So if you're a fan of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 and you want to see what else he did, it's really silly, Andy, because the sad part is I actually know who it is. So this is really not a good idea. So, because I would. So, oh yeah, we know who it is. Actually, Steph, tell you what, I'll tell you later. Because the person's on here has a channel and that type of thing, and I don't want you to accidentally stumble onto that person's thing. So I'll let you know later on who it is, and some other people as well. I just won't say his name on the channel. But don't worry about it. You're going to get the guy coming in and out, you know, just block him, he'll come in, he'll give me another view, that type of thing. And really strange guy. So I've got my thing open up here. You don't know who they really are? Dude. Hold on a second. Because I got you on my Instagram, don't I? So, Linnea Quigley double feature, got all of that. I'm still here, and I've got one in my hand right now. Oh, don't worry about it, Brian. This thing happens. This is the good thing about this is one of the reasons I won't be doing like live all the time, uh, because this is kind of annoying. But it also is the reason why. Thank you for having me on your podcast because it gets me away from some of the other nastier stuff. But I'll tell you what, John. Later on, when I'm not on here, I'll let you in on who it is. As soon as I say the name, I think you're gonna know it. Dolomite, because I love the blaxploitation films. I'm a super big fan of these. And Rudy Ray Moore's really good. Uh, oh yeah, we're still gonna have fun. Ignore them. Just ignore them, and I'll just kind of like delete them afterwards. Um, as they come in, I'll delete them. It's a fun film. Like I'll be honest. So, a friend of mine got me this one here. It's a really cool, cheesy film. Rudy Ray Moore was a stand-up comedian that went into like he's a big dude. Went into like making like these blaxploitation films. Did a great job. There's 4 of them that they put out. One time I thought they were going to put like a box set, kind of like a box to go with it. Yeah, Candy Tangerine Man is released by Vinegar Syndrome. Definitely recommend it. They're remaking that now, John. It's a fun film too. So if you haven't checked out Candy Tangerine Man, I think Candy Tangerine Man is a double feature with something else. Perfect. Yeah, there. See, Stephanie's on the ball with Lady Coco. So definitely one to pick up. I don't have that one yet. That's one that I do have to get, and that's on the. I got to get that one. I got to get the other 3 Dolomite films, well, the other Rudy Ray Moore films as well. Petey Wheatstraw's definitely on my list of movies that I do need to pick up. And that's the thing; they could always release a box anytime because they're releasing like slipcovers for older releases, so that can happen at any time. I know that A Human Tornado, Petey Wheatstraw, and Disco Godfather. That's the 4 with Dolomite. And next up is Hobgoblins here, which is super cheesy fun. Do I think Vinegar Syndrome will ever do a box? They might actually. I think with the slip covers, it's kind of a way to kind of to test those waters. And they've mentioned it before. They floated around the idea of like a box. Mentioned it to Brad actually, but it's something that I can see them making some money on. Yeah, like all 4 of them are good. I hear, I haven't seen a lot of them in a long time, but Petey Wheatstraw usually gets like the biggest praise. Of course, Dolomite is the classic, but all 4 of them I think are just really, really fun. Yes, it's Hobgoblins. And all you MSC3 guys are gonna love this. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome has grown huge, and I do think that a large part of like the eyes on my channel that I ended up getting on my channel, it has largely to do with Vinegar Syndrome actually kind of growing at the same time that my channel like coming around the same time Vinegar Syndrome were growing, and I kind of caught on to them just at the right time. I think there's a reason that my Twitter thing is Mr. Vincent. I really do love these films. Hopefully, did they have the distribution rights for Hobgoblins too? If they do, then that's always the case with some of these. This is a really fun, cheesy film. Again, it's another one of these knockoffs of but you can't just take it as a knockoff of Gremlins because it is just so weird. The storyline and the characters are just so immensely insane that it has its own life. It's beyond like some of the other knockoff films. Yeah, exactly. Cinemassacre, loves this type of stuff. James Rolfe and Mike and those guys love these type of things. Much like if you like Cinemassacre, B Movie Archives, I recommend Brandon Tenold. If you've never checked out his channel, he's another, and Fanboy Flicks. Both those are also two other Canadian, like bad movie lovers that that do really, really good work. And if you've never checked them out, really do so. They do have great channels. I haven't seen Shazam yet, but I definitely want to go see it. MC through K is the only way you've seen that. Steph, you owe it to yourself to see it in its a regular way. Do I like the credit scene of every horror film? Actually, depends. Honestly, if I'm watching Hobgoblins and it's like, because some days I watch like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. No, to be completely, I fall asleep sometimes. I'm like, okay, the movie. I get through the movie and I'm like, okay. Yeah. When I say it's time for tea, sometimes it really is time for tea. It's got to keep me awake. Next up, okay, this one might be for everybody, but it definitely was one that I thought was good. This is, again, now this one is a R-rated and an X-rated edition of this film. It's Roberta Findlay, and it's very much likened to Repulsion, and there's a reason for that. So if you know what Repulsion's about and you kind of have the idea, then you're going to know whether that's going to be the type of movie that you're kind of into for this or not. It's going to have a feel of that to it, and it's a really good film. What I really like is the star of the film is super good. It's super is like. Is a super odd girl. Now, she walked off the set part of the way through the filming of it, and they actually had used Roberta Findlay in a wig to do certain sequences in the film from back on. But it's called A Woman's Torment. This was one of the ones that I recommended. Like, they got my strong recommendation, much like when I spoke on Just This about Incubus. Woman's Torment was another one that I recommended at that time, and I still do recommend it. Just know that this is, this does have adult scenes, but there's an R-rated version of it on here. You do not have to watch the X-rated version of the film. I personally think that the X-rated film works a little bit better than the R-rated one because of what the storyline is about. It is a really unusual film, and I really enjoyed it. Roberta Findlay is a really interesting filmmaker, and if you've never seen her stuff, I gotta recommend her. I gotta recommend her stuff. She's really good at what she does. Now, the next two I'm going to show you are, sadly, they just recently went out of print, so hopefully you guys managed to pick these up when they came out. Just recently, they let people know that these were a tenement. Yeah, actually, I think I got that one here. Roberta Findlay is such a good filmmaker, and she's so underrated, and she underrates herself too. First up, Hobgoblins. It's cheesy. Just in all seriousness, just look up a trailer for it. It's a strange film. So next up is 5 films, 5 years. Now this one is this is the Golden Age of Erotica one. This is volume 1. This is now out of print. It's no longer something that that you can get, unfortunately. Hopefully you got this one B Movie Archives before it went out. Okay. Yes. I do know who you are, and and you're gone because I blocked you, but your terminology gives you away. There's the thing, guys. See, there you go. Sorry, guys, had to do a little house cleaning there. Apparently, the fact that I knew who the person was kind of scared him a bit, and so he got the comment. Oh, so this one here, sorry about that, B-Movie Archives. I apologize. Back to the stuff that matters. And that is the 5 films, 5 years. Volumes 1 and 2 are out of print. You still have the chance to get volumes 3 and 4. Now, if you're not familiar with the concept of 5 films, 5 years, basically what it is at the 5th anniversary of Vinegar Syndrome, they took movies that they had that were just DVD releases, that didn't have Blu-ray releases, and they took the films and they put them on a 2 Blu-ray set. They gave them like a Blu-ray upgrade. If you want to, like some of them, now these are featureless. These are just the films themselves. Oh, thanks. And with that being said, is I gotta say, these are really good. Like you can buy the DVDs. The DVDs are dirt cheap of each of these films to buy. So if you wanna, if you get these here and you want to dive deeper into these films and you see that the DVDs have some extra features that you want to make yourself an ultimate edition, wait till a Black Friday sale. Get like one of the DVDs for $5 or less, which you can do. But on the Golden Age of Erotica Volume 1, the movies that they have are Too Naughty to Say No, actually a really good film. Hot and Sexy Pizza Girls, which is Bob Chin. Bob Chin's actually a really good director. And this comes off much like the fun, like kind of like exploitation sex films of the late 70s, early 80s. They are super cool. The Ribald Tales of Canterbury, Prisoners of Paradise, and the last one is Dixie Run, which actually is a pretty good film. It is legitimately a film noir. The next one is not an X-rated one, and that is the 5 films, 5 years, and this is Volume 2, and this is Horror and Exploitation. Now, just to let you know, B Movie Archives, Volumes 1 and 2 are sold out, but there are Volumes 3 and 4. Yeah, everybody was surprised, and we're surprised especially with like the great price that these films went for, considering the the amount of films that were on each of these releases. Now, there's some great ones on here. We got Murder on the Emerald Seas, which of course is an Alan Ormsby film. Yes, actually, this one right here, B Movie Archives. If you ever wanted to know what their X-rated stuff is like, you want to dip your toe in, and you weren't sure, the Volume 1 and I think maybe Volume 3 or 4 of this one is are X-rated films. But they don't tend to do just X-rated. When you think of X-rated films, don't think of modern day stuff. Don't think of the stuff that you see now. When Vinegar Syndrome is doing like a film that's an X-rated style of film, then they're looking at a film that also has like a storyline and a plot, and probably played in a theater. Or back in stock. Grab it, because this film was like, I know they were back in stock, but I thought they went out of stock again. But if they're in stock, and definitely worth grabbing. I definitely recommend them. So this is the one that's not X-rated that more people may be interested in, and this is the Horror and Exploitation one. Murder on Emerald Seeds I think is the only thing Alan Ormsby I can think of that he directed. I know he worked with with Bob Clark a lot as well. Obviously there. There is Dungeon of Harrow, which is a fun film. Hang Up, directed by John Hayes. We got Flesh and Bullets on here by Carlos Tobolini. But probably the most famous one on here for me, and one of the most cool ones, Sleepaway Camp is on Blu-ray from Scream Factory if you live in North America. Batman Forever on Batman, or if I'm not sure about in the UK, but in the UK I know that they put out Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 on the 88 Films editions. So this one here has like the best one is The Mothers. That's for me. I enjoy that one. It's by Cirio Santiago, and I love Cirio Santiago's stuff. It's super cheesy. It's always like crazy action and amazing stuff. Oh, 2 and 3 are also out from Scream Factory, but if you want to like get an alternate edition, it might be a little bit cheaper to get like the ones from 88 Films, but there's more features on the Scream Factory editions. 88 Films is the first one? Do they really? I guess I just didn't get it. See, Stephanie loves The Mothers. The Mothers is a fun film. Now, speaking of Roberta Findlay, which I did a minute ago, I know, weird transition there. We got Primeval and Lurkers. It's a cool double feature. Really did enjoy this one. I like Primeval, I think, better than Lurkers. They're both good films. Because there's something about Primeval that I just really enjoyed. I watched both of them back to back. That may have been it too, that I watched them right after the other, and I'd been watching a couple films at that same time. But maybe I should give Lurkers another watch. Now there is a alternate artwork on the inside, just to let you guys see. If you're a fan of, you're Batman. If you're a fan of like, if you're a fan of the AGFA's like upcoming Satanic double feature, then you're probably going to want to get Primeval and Lurkers because it's that type of stuff. They need more. They need more Roberta Findlay in our lives. Like more goodness Roberta Findlay Blu-rays in our lives. And yeah, like a few of them have. I'll be honest with you, Boo Movie Archives. There's a few times that I've like literally haven't like looked. Like I just took the movie out and it'll be like a month later and I'll be opening it up for some reason or another, doing a video on here, or I'll just be like putting it in to watch a feature or something like that, and then I'll notice the alternate artwork. Sometimes I don't even notice it for a while later. Here's one that I don't think a lot of people picked up. I thought was a really fun one, like personally. There's an actor by the name of Peter Carpenter, and Peter Carpenter definitely thanks a lot of Peter Carpenter. This is a cool one. I'm not sure if the limited edition is still available. If it is, this was a limited edition one, and a lot of these here are like region free. I do like when these should include obviously B Movie Archives MVD Rewind is a favorite of mine when they do, especially with the posters. Arrow does that on some as well. MVD Rewind does on all their titles. Well, they said, Warlock, because you're in Canada the same as me, that Vinegar Syndrome, like anything over $100, has gone back to being free shipping here in Canada, which it wasn't for a while. It started out as free shipping after $100 here in Canada, but then a while back, they didn't have like not Horror Express. They didn't have like free shipping. It costed a bit, but it was still lower shipping than what it normally costs. Postcards over posters. What about both? I think everybody loves a rose. See, people always ask me why I don't get into like steelbooks as much as as other people do, and the reason is because if there's reversible artwork, I usually will pick that over a steelbook, even if it's like a nice looking steelbook, because I like the artwork. Do yours took forever to arrive? Vinegar Syndrome, like for me, like so far, knock on wood, has been the company that comes the fastest. Like aside from Arrow. Arrow's new. Like you just pay a couple dollars extra for Arrow's shipping, and it's insanely good. I think we're all in agreement. John's in agreement too on the reversible artwork. But I find Vinegar Syndrome come really fast for me. 150 for the rest of the world. You got to get a lot. Yeah, that is true. But a lot of their stuff, it really is. It is worth it. Like I always say, save up, and just pick it up. Pick up during the sale. Obviously if you're getting packages and stuff like that, you're going to want to get that. But the sales are great times to come in. I've never ordered from Ronin Flicks Warlock, so I really I don't know a lot of their stuff. I know they do like a lot of Code Red stuff. And we're like evil Canadians that steal from, you know what I'm talking about, man. They are definitely customs friendly. That's always good. And right now for Canadians, so for Americans it's $50, and then it's free shipping. For Canadians it's $100 in free shipping. From anybody outside of Canada or outside of North America, then it is going to be $150 for free shipping. You know the Canadian rant. We have all heard the Canadian rant. I hold no, I joke about it, but I hold no ill will about stuff like that. So this is the Pete Carpenter double feature. I've never bought from Diabolic DVD, though my dad has, and he says they're really good. So, and I definitely, I will. My dad says they're good, I'm going to go with that. So this is Blood Mania and Planet of Terror. I found these actually both really, really fun. People don't talk about these very much. People talk about a lot of Vinegar Syndrome stuff, but in Peter Carpenter films, all the women love Peter Carpenter. Much in the way that, if you're watching a Shaft film, all the ladies love Shaft. All the ladies love Peter Carpenter. And, good service, exactly what Warlock says. Good service, pricey shipping. So what's neat about this one here is that these movies came out on TV as well. Now, when these films came out on TV, both Blood Mania and Planet of Terror, they were changed. Actually, they changed. They did blue cases first, and then they went into. Then afterwards, they've done white cases. So they've gone into white cases now, which is kind of the opposite of MVD Rewind, which did white cases, and then they couldn't get white cases from their distributor anymore, so they had to end up going to blue cases. That's what happened with MVD Rewind. It's reverse with Vinegar Syndrome. Only the earliest cases that Vinegar Syndrome did were blue cases. Now the rest of them are the standard white cases. So this one here basically has TV versions of both Point of Terror and Blood Mania. So both of these films, not only you got the Blu-ray, you got the DVD, and you've got the limited edition DVD that has TV versions of both of these films. Now, I think on Vinegar Syndrome you can actually buy the cases if you want to like make everything uniform. You kind of OCD like I am, and just do and just like change them over to white cases. I'm still jealous about your shock and gore set. I like my cereal box one, but your shock and gore set, man, that's amazing. Next up is Evils of the Night. This one is really super fun and super cheesy. This is a good one to watch with a bunch of people, with some friends, maybe have a couple drinks, type of thing. It's just, I'm just gonna list off. Neville Brand is in this film, and that's an actor that I really like. But there's other actors. We have John Carradine. Okay, John Carradine. You see him in a lot of those same movies, but you also get Julie Newmar and Tina Louise. Yes, Gilligan's Island's Tina Louise is also in this film. This film actually have 2 adult stars. This is not an adult film though, but basically they needed a one sex scene. Is it really that bad? I've heard about it, but I've never seen the Xenon Pictures one. You got this one? See, isn't this one cool? My oldest was really upset about that's your first purchase, was with this film. Hey Mark, how's it going? Because basically what the actress that she likes in this film gets killed. But it's a really cool, cheesy, fun film. Like super like aliens, and like there's actually, again, like just like I mentioned there with the Blood Mania Planet of Terror one, this actually does have like another TV version of the film as well, so it's really neat to see that, like see the TV edition of this one. I always like that when you get these alternate like TV edits of films that they can have like different scenes in there, because they got to take out certain sequences. They may have taken like nudity, or they may have taken like an extra bloody sequence, and sometimes they'll take it out and that'll be it. But most of the time they'll take it out and they'll put it in they'll put it into. I don't think I've ever got anything Xenon. Oh, this movie is Evils of the Night. With it's a strange, like kind of fun, like alien style film. Very different. Great. It's a 2K restoration from its original 35mm print. So definitely worth getting. I always have to mention this next one, and I always got to qualify it when I mention it. And that is this one right here, which is Malibu High. Now, Malibu High, well, actually, I find that streaming services, like some people, for casual like people who just want to see a film, then then maybe I can see it takes away a bit from the mass media market. But for collectors, for like people that collect films, then streaming services, the only thing streaming services really do is make them want to buy more movies. So that's kind of the way that it works for me. I've got the Criterion streaming channel, which apparently started tonight. Didn't even realize it. Or my better half of me would have been watching it earlier. But Malibu High, basically, this looks like a fun comedy romp a la Porky's, but it is not at all. It is a great film, and it is a serious film. It's not a comedic film. Basically, you meet this girl, and without giving away too much, she is a girl that starts into adult stuff. Basically, she becomes she starts like kind of like she wants to get good grades. So she seduces a professor, which leads her into the world of prostitution, which eventually leads her to become a hitman. The cereal box one, Brian, has like the movies and the book done in the cereal box thing with the extra features and all that. But that Shock and Gore set was a really limited set that Warlock has. Now it's really great. It's not something you can get anymore. It had a record with it. It had actually had a book, a full novel of one of the, which one is it? Is it Blood Mania? That the full novel of something like Blood Feast? Is that the one that had the novel, the novelization? And a bunch of other like kind of cool little things. So it definitely was a really good one. So if you're like a really hardcore Herschel Gordon Lewis fan, or you just like some really limited edition sets, it's really a good one, Brian. And I'm a big fan of Herschel Gordon Lewis, but I wasn't as big a fan as Warlock is. That could, and to be honest with you, I didn't have the bones for it at the time to grab it on the day that it is, and it did set out the first day, and there was only like, was it 250 copies, Warlock? Something like that. Google it sometime, Brian. I mean, like just to see, like Google image it. It's definitely a masterpiece. But I'm satisfied with the set there. But it's epic. I went with the cereal box one because I couldn't afford it. Warlock, I'm not as fancy as Warlock. Couldn't get the really cool stuff. It hurt that. I can imagine it did. But come on, when you got it, it wasn't worth it though. Because I would have said, like honestly, I paid. Well, my better half paid for my Bergman set and that one over there because they were both presents, and when you get it, it's worth it though. 250 North America, 250 in UK. That's really good when you think about it, because usually you think like it's going to be more expensive in like in North America, because 250 in the UK, when you translate that over, it's a bit more, isn't it? So Malibu High, definitely check this one out. Great film. Not at all what you think it is. There's some really great features on here. I don't know if I'm gonna. I was going to pick it up, and I ended up going with the MVD Rewind thing because I'm getting close to the. We're working hard on our collections, Warlock, and but I if it's still available down the road, I can't afford it right now. I'm trying to save up for the Vinegar Syndrome sale, so yeah, there you go. Anybody wants to send me a Hammer's Horrors box set? I'm all about it. Send it my way. I'll enjoy it. It'll go to a nice home. Since that's not going to happen, we'll see. Next up is a really cool one. It's a really fun film, and it's not at all what you think it's going to be when you see it. Oh, pretty good, Mark. Hopefully, if you got to go, like, feel free to come back and watch after. It's nice to see you here, man. And we're talking Vinegar Syndrome, and hopefully this will go well for you here tonight. So this is Death Machines. This B-movie. So yeah, there we go. B-movie Archive. This is a really fun action film. It's really weird. For some reason they said, let's make this like a science fiction film. So the beginning of the film and the poster makes it look like it's some epic like science fiction film. It's not. It's a cheesy kind of kung fu action film. If you've ever seen it, like if you've never, Steph, Brian, if you've never seen Death Machines, you got to see this one. Sister Street. I got to get Sister Street Fighter. I got to get the Arrow, like the Scream Factory release too, the Ship Factory of the Street Fighter collection, which keeps going in and out of print here on Amazon CA, by the way. I'm not sure if you noticed that or not. But Death Machines, definitely one I got to pick up. I wish I was in Ontario right now, because in Toronto, I know at Bay Street Video, they showed like a picture of like the Street Fighter collection. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there now. Okay, the next two that I'm going to say are super fun. And they're super weird. Do you guys like weird? Do you like really weird? Do you like WTF films? This next one I'm about to show you, and the one right after it, they're by the same director. And that director is Richard Casey. Both of these are limited edition, and both of these are weird as... They're strange films. Horror House on Highway 5. Now, I don't think this is out of print yet. This is a limited edition from Vinegar Syndrome. I know it was low, but I don't think it's out of print quite yet. So if you're wondering, so I'm hoping it's at sunrise when I go there. Audio's cutting out. Oh, if anybody else feels like the audio's cutting out, please kind of let me know. Hopefully it's going okay. This is a brand new mic that I'm using here tonight. So this is So it's a really weird film. So there's some students on kind of like a scavenger hunt. Kind of like they're doing like an assignment. There's some students with a rocket. There's Nazis. There's kind of Nazis that kidnap people. Thanks, guys. There is a killer with a Richard Nixon mask. Eventually, all of these unconnected things, they will come together in one of the weirdest but oddly satisfying films you're going to watch. And that is Horror House on Highway 5. Yes, I said Nazis. I did. And it will come together with the Richard Nixon mass killer, which will come together with the students, and it's super weird. But yeah, it's a super weird film. I think, yeah, this one does have a reversible artwork, which you guys seem to like, so I'll show you guys. And that is a very unusual artwork right there. And so Richard Casey put out did two films that both came out on Vinegar Syndrome. This is one of them. These are, by the way, just in case you're outside of North America, these are region free. It's a fun one, Andy. And the other one he put out, which I do think is out of print now, you guys can let me know on this one, and that is the infamous Hellbent. If you like movies where people sell their soul for rock and roll, then you're going to like Hellbent. I understand that. Definitely, it's a fun film. I really enjoyed this one. This was like, slightly more ambitious than his first film. Like the first one was Horror House on Highway 5. His second film was Hellbent. I think you're all going to love the alternate artwork on here as well. I think it's kind of cool. So that's the alternate artwork for Hellbent. You guys, you can see the alternate artwork for Horror House on Highway 5. It had more of like an indie feel to it. But I find both of these films like really cool, really fun watches. Both of these are limited edition. I think this one's out of print. You guys can let me know. But the other two are, you like the alternate artwork better? Actually, I do now too. So I'll probably change it over. The next up is one that I will show that I can tell you right now, I remember from a previous Vinegar Syndrome video. Because with the President's mask, yeah. I like Point Break, actually. This one is not a favorite of Stephanie Crawford's. That is one thing I'm going to say right now before I show it. She will know what this is. Luther the Geek. Although I enjoy Luther the Geek, it is a fun little film, and it has Stacey Hadiak, or one of the top of the Google Doc list. Right now, you can order right now, or you can wait for the upcoming Boredom Strikes You for the upcoming sale. Now, Luther the Geek also has alternate artwork as well, so let's check that out. So this is the original artwork this is the artwork that they got on here. I think I'm gonna have to change this one over too, by the way. And there is the other artwork for Luther the Geek. That's okay. Hopefully, I'm not going too fast writing some of these down, because, well, you can always go back and rewatch the video and just like. I do that for for documentaries that I watch. If they're showing like a lot of movies, I can't write them all down. I like it. This is where I differ from Miss Crawford, whose opinion I very much enjoy. I thought this was good. It's done by the director of The Children, which was also put out by Vinegar Syndrome. What I like about Luther the Geek is that the actor fully commits to doing this role. And if you don't fully commit to doing a role like Luther the Geek, then what's going to happen to you is pretty simple. It's going to come off really super silly because you're going to be kind of, you know, not doing like the full job of it. But he fully commits. Also, if you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you like the first one, and you thought that girl that played April O'Neil is really cute, and what does she look like outside of that yellow jumpsuit? Luther the Geek is a movie for you, because you're going to find out. Oh, are you ever going to find out? You're right, B-Movie Archives. This one is also a Tromo film as well, and you can see the little Tromo logo right down there on the bottom. Ironically, when I did my Troma video, which actually had a really cool name, Traumatic, the Full Moon Troma video, that was one of my lesser viewed videos. I was really surprised. But alas, it was viewed by the good people, the people that mattered, right? And anyway, Luther the Geek is a fun film, but I know it's not something that's for everybody. Alrighty, pile number 2, guys. Next up is a more recent film that came out from Vinegar Syndrome, and that is Splatter University. So again, coming up on Just This is one of the films we talk about, so I won't go too much into it, but it is one that I personally did like, and I think it's a fun film. I'm a slasher fan, and I'm an unabashed slasher fan. So needless to say, when I get into conversations about slasher films, no, Five Slips was the, what was it? Cutting Class. That's what you're thinking of. You're thinking of Cutting Class with Brad Pitt and Joe Sholin. And I think Donovan Leitch, right? Donovan Leitch, I think. That's one that had the 5 slips. That was ridiculous, man. They did not need 5 slips. 1 slip's good. But it's a neat little experiment. Hopefully they don't do it again, though. Splatter University is a really fun one. This is the alternate artwork. No, man, they're both slasher films. Easy to get one. Episode is live right now. Are you serious? I am super nervous. Whenever Brian says this, I get super nervous because that means I'm going to be listening to it probably with my better half later on. And yeah, I'll be nervous when that happens. So guys, after you hear, check out the Vinegar Syndrome thing that I'm doing right now. You can actually listen to the Just to This podcast that is going to have Splatter University talked about on there. And I'm not sure how much my Splatter University rant got onto that episode, but I think I kind of talked about that one a lot. Like it was a movie that I had a bit of love for. There's actually some really neat stuff on this. This was done by Richard Haynes. He's done a lot of stuff, and definitely great like stuff on here. There's a couple of good commentary tracks. The one by Steer Continues is one that I really strongly recommend actually on here if you do have this film, if you did buy it. And if you want to hear more about it, listen to the Just to This podcast. There we go. You like the Commission artwork better? See, I like this artwork better, I'll be honest with you. And probably because that's Robin from like Friday the 13th Part 7. And I'm a really big fan of her. So she's not actually in the film, by the way. But there you go. That's Robin from Friday the 13th Part 7. Oh, really? Because I was worried I was going to go long with that one. See, I trust your abilities when it comes to this. Because, man, I'm talkative, man. I know my weakness, Brian. Yeah, exactly, Robin. So, yeah, that's her. Like, she modeled for Splatter University's cover, but she's not actually in it. There's a few movies, actually, you'll find where you'll see like girls on the cover that aren't actually in the film. But actually, that makes it even neater to check out. And I do like that kind of really cheesy cover. This is more of like what I would consider like a higher class style of film from Vinegar Syndrome. It has a booklet and everything in it, and it is Count Dracula's Great Love. I'm a huge Paul Naschy fan. You can't go wrong with Nash. He's love his stuff. I love his werewolf stuff. That's my favorite. But definitely check this one out. This one does have a booklet with it. It has some neat like people in it. Like I'm not going to say they got people that are as good looking as Robin. They don't. But they do have some interesting. The main actress is very interesting as well. I like those cheesy covers though, don't you? Man, they're so cool. Dracula's Great Love. If you like vampire films, like Paul Nash is a guy that's obviously was enamored with Hammer and that style of stuff, and it shows through in most of the work that he does. This is one of his only times actually playing the role of Count Dracula. It was only actually a legitimate time playing the role of Count Dracula. It's a really great film. Again, they're both the English dub and you get the original Spanish language soundtrack as well with the, with the subtitles if you want to do it like that. And it's definitely, a classic, kind of like a really, really fun film. I would love to see them put out more stuff actually of Paul Nash's work, particularly werewolf stuff. I'm not gonna lie, when I hear like a Code Red or something like that gets a Paul Nash film, a part of me just cringes a bit because honestly, it's good. Code Red does good stuff, but for like a Paul Nash thing, I really want to see someone like a Vinegar Syndrome or like an Arrow or a Scream Factory, but mostly Vinegar Syndrome. I want to see Vinegar Syndrome do it because I know the love is there. And you can tell in this one that the love is really there. Next up is another fantastically fun little film. Do you like Scream Queens? Do you like Dave Dakota directing Scream Queens? Then I have the movie for you. Okay, so Nightmare Sisters. Again, Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens. Is it Michelle Bauer in this one as well? I think so. Yeah, Michelle Bauer. Definitely a cool film. But if you thought those actresses weren't enough, well, I'm not calling Mr. Vincent for no reason. Mr. Vinegar Syndrome is one of my favorites. Arrow is another company that I love as well. So it's hard for me. It's like choosing my favorite kitty cat. It's hard to do. But they are really. But I find the Vinegar Syndrome is quickly becoming that go-to company. Vinegar Syndrome, like some people will go and they'll blind buy from Criterion. I'm one of those people. And I'll feel perfectly fine. I never feel like I'm going to be led astray. The same thing with Vinegar Syndrome. In one way or another, it's going to be a movie that interests me in some way. And I find Vinegar Syndrome I can easily blind buy from, and I'm usually pretty happy with the blind buys. So, Nightmare Sisters has an actor by the name of, are you ready for this? So, Dookie Flyswatter. I couldn't make that up. Apparently he could, but the guy Omar is played by actor Dookie Flyswatter. So if that never sold you on the film, if Dookie Flyswatter can't sell you on a film, I don't know what can. 13 title. Oh, nice, Warlock. Vinegar Syndrome will be at Shock Stock in London, Ontario in 2 weeks. So if you're in the Ontario area, where you can get to London, Ontario, where Shock Stock is coming up, definitely check out Vinegar Syndrome over at Shock Stock. That's his name, Dookie Flyswatter. I'm not even kidding. Warlock, coming up, the good information. The Bees, again, this is the one that I mentioned. I mentioned Fredo Zacharias before when I show, I think it was Demon Eye. The Bees, this one I do remember pretty well. I actually really like this film. Stars John Saxon, Angel Tompkins, John Carradine, and Claudia Brooke. This is, I'm unfortunately too far away too. But super cool film. It's killer bees with an environmental twist. And really neat little film. There is an alternate artwork, which I think you guys are going to get a kick out of. So I'll show it to you right now. I know a lot of people are going to really prefer this artwork to like this one here. Unfortunately, Michael Caine is not in this one. He was too busy opening his eyes. Oh, nice. So you got to get them to bring a t-shirt, and then more like you can send me a t-shirt. You think I get a t-shirt for Vinegar Syndrome at this point, you know? Yeah, the old artwork. It's kind of neat, all right, as long as it's the cool exploitive artwork, but I just really like it. So next up is one that I got because of my good friend Brian, and I haven't got a chance to watch this one yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. And the only reason I haven't got a chance to watch it is because my better half wants to watch it with me, and unfortunately has been feeling well recently. So we haven't had the chance to watch a few movies together. But it is the Battle of the Planets Mutant War, which is a double feature. They kind of continuation. They're two films that actually do go together. She's a huge fan of sci-fi actiony stuff. When you go to Warlock, mention me. Like, definitely say there's a guy named Aaron, and he always talks about your stuff. See if they know who I am. They don't, but definitely a really cool one. Lots of stop motion animation in this one. Really looking forward to that. I love stop motion animation. I'm a huge Ray Harryhausen fan, as you can see from the indicator films in the background. Excited about that one? Me too. And I got to sit down and watch it. I'll probably watch it twice because I really want to watch it soon. And my better half's like, wait for me. And I'm like, I'm trying. But next up is Norman J. Warren. This is the third Norman J. Warren release that they put out. And it is got a really sexy cover. So this is going to sell it for people alone. I consider this sort of like Norman J. Warren's version of The Shining in a weird way, and that is Bloody New Year. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Great cover. And of course, there is the alternate artwork, which most people remember, because this is the art that most people remember seeing in VHS stores back in the day, or like video rental stores. Bloody New Year tends to be one of those movies that a lot of people kind of think they saw, but they never actually did. Or they saw it and they don't really remember it. They remember the artwork, but not the film itself, myself included. And so when I do sort of remember this film, I remember like the haunted kind of hotel, the run away from the carnies, that type of thing. But I enjoy this. I enjoy all of Norman J. Warren's work. Yeah, I heard they're coming out in 4K. I'm so stoked about that, actually. I'm an original Batman fan. So I saw Batman in 1989 on crutches. I'm not even joking, I did. So yeah, I'm going to be buying those. But yeah, I love the cover. I love the new artwork here. Classic art was really cool as well. But I love, this is one of the times that I really do like the new artwork. They did a great job on this. Next up is one that, Brian, I do recommend that we do a talk about in the future, if you want to. And that is Fleshpot on 42nd Street. I'm going to leave this one off somewhere because I just want to see, like, just in case there's nude or anything, I don't want to get into that. But Fleshpot on 42nd Street, I really enjoyed this film. And I've watched it twice. I was going to watch it a second time with the commentary, but I just watched it again to get, like, kind of, like, to get the lay of the characters and basically the... that's expensive. I want them, though. But it's Andy Milligan, and Andy Milligan's eye for dialogue and like just realistic characters just really comes through in this film. Next up is one that I'm probably going to be watching tomorrow night, actually, and that is Dominique, or as most people know this movie, Dominique is dead, or is she? Yeah, I remember the trailer. This is one of the most successful trailers that I remember seeing on VHS. They would show this trailer all the time. I think this is kind of like a I don't know if you really call it Southern Gothic. What's this one about? Cliff Robertson's in this one. It seems really strange because much like there's a couple titles when you see them, you're like, that's really Vinegar Syndrome? They put out a movie like that? Some of these more recent ones, actually, that I did want to pick up, I actually looked into these very much in large part thanks to a great friend, Brian here, who helped me actually get these releases. And these are some of the newer ones, and these are ones that I've been able to keep up and watch a lot of the newer stuff, and there are some amazing stuff, by the way. The other artwork here, this one is from the 70s, I think. I will actually check it for you. Dominique is dead, or they actually have it. Dominique is dead, or is she? That's what the narrator says basically in the trailer. A great cast in this one with Cliff Robertson, Jenny Agutter, Judy Geeson, also photographed by Oscar winner Ted Moore. Wow, so the man who did Goldfinger photographed this one. I missed what you said there. I do apologize. Again, a couple audio interviews on here that I'm kind of interested in checking out. Some great stuff, and I haven't seen this one in a long time, but I'm definitely gonna pick this one out. I'm definitely gonna be looking into this one. Hobgoblins. Hobgoblins is fun. Is that one soda? That's not one soda, is it? Next up, again another newer one. You want super cheesy, fun, weird stuff? Then check out The Suckling. I'm just gonna let that soak in. Gonna let that cover soak in for a minute. See that cover? Okay. This is The Suckling. It's a unique film. It's kind of odd, and it says here, video interview with Michael Gingold, writer at Fangoria, who played the mature Suckling. So Michael Gingold, who probably wrote a few things that you there's the original cover. A lot of people say that they remember this cover for The Suckling. Super cheesy cover for like a fun cheesy film. And as you can see, if you didn't like kind of see it there, I'll show the disc there. She's holding up a baby bottle. If you like monster films, then The Suckling is probably going to be like on your want list, because it is one of those like kind of monster style films. Next up is another one that's on the podcast that just dropped, and that is There's Nothing Out There. And I'm going to say all I'm going to say on this right now is buy it. I'm just going to turn it around and share this amount of special features. See that there? That's all the special features. There's Nothing Out There, and I think we talked about it, and I still don't think like I said enough. I really probably should have said more, but is it Suckling like It's Alive? It's different. It's different than It's Alive. Check out the trailer. It's really hard to say. So this is Nothing Like Careers. This is a very much meta horror film. Feature-wise, are you guys ready for this? Because I think this deserves, like, this is the most features I think I've ever seen put on any Vinegar Syndrome. So aside from like newly scanned restoration from a 35mm interpositive, we got a interview with Rolf Koninsky and editor Victor Koninsky, his dad, who actually did Ganja and Hess and Bloodsucking Freaks. There's a movie, we got their 40 Years of Cutting, New Year interview with Victor Koninsky, interview with actor Craig Peck, brand new group commentary, archival group commentary with Hysteria Continues, archival interview with Rolf Koninsky, Copycat, a really, really good like short film that was made by a guy about this movie and its connections to the movie Scream. If you don't know that, then definitely look into this. Murder in Winter, an early feature film, and actually filmed by Rolf Koninsky, and Craig Peck is in that one as well. Just Listen, an early short film by Rolf Koninsky. Mood Boobs, which is actually really fun. Exactly, this is one of the reasons that they deserve for. This is a perfect example. Behind the scenes of Mood Boobs, theatrical trailer, music videos, production stills gallery, behind the scenes rehearsal footage, pre-production footage, original cast additions, animation test footage, deleted shots, reversible cover work, everything. And of course, make sure the subtitles are there too for anybody that wants to make sure. So there is the other artwork for There's Nothing Out There. It is a super meta horror film. It is fun. It is cheesy. Mood boobs. Yep, definitely. And that adds Tiffany, if you're a fan of like kind of low budget horror actresses, like one of the best, Tiffany Shepis is in that, and she is a great actress. She also acted in Rolf Koninsky's, and she starred in Nightmare Man, which I would love to see. Stephanie, if you're there and you're talking to Brad, ask if they can get Nightmare Man into Vinegar Syndrome, because that's one that I think more Rolf Koninsky needs to get some more love. The third title that we talked about on the Just to This podcast, and I think a favorite of Mr. Brian's house is this one right here, Wacko. It is, if you like horror comedy films, if you like the slasher parody films, this one has a bit of it all. Joe Don Baker. It's got Joe Don Baker, most, I guess, famous for many people who watch Mystery Science Theater as Mitchell, in which, honestly, he probably plays pretty much a comedic version of Mitchell in this film. But you think Jodan Baker is the only one in it? No, we got everyone. Stella Stevens is in this film. Actually, I think Mark Hamill will do a good job. I'm not sure how the plot's going to be though. Putting guy in a briefcase. We got George Kennedy, of course, from from the Naked Gun films, and of course Police Squad series. Charles Napier's in this one. Julie Duffy, who a lot of people are going to know from Newhart or shows like that. It's a really fun one. Definitely recommend checking this out. There's another Graydon Clark film that I like even better than this, but I think this is a really fun one. And upon this is one that where it caught me in the second watch. I think when I watched it the first time, what's the art on the cover? You got to see, dude. It's very much like a cracked Mad style artwork right there. So do you see the guy there that's dressed with the Superman thing on? Well, that's Andrew Dice Clay. And Andrew Dice Clay, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of his first roles, and it's definitely a movie to watch with friends. It's a fun movie to watch with some buddies. Slangini, yeah. Slangini is awesome. You gotta love Slangini. Speaking of Graydon Clark, The Uninvited. Oh, definitely worth checking out there. The Uninvited, but with Graydon Clark. This is a really fun film. This is probably one of my favorite of the newer Vinegar Syndrome movies that was put out. This is the infamous Graydon Clark film with kind of the mutant cat thing. So if you've never seen this, I definitely recommend it. You're going to notice some of the actors from Warlock, from Wacko, sorry, Warlock, are also in Uninvited as well. And as you can see, it has another great, fantastic cover. So either way, I think we got a great cover for The Uninvited, and it's one that I strongly recommend. Oh no. This is not a ghost story. This is not That Uninvited. This is a movie about a cat that's an experimental cat that escapes from a laboratory and ends up on a boat with some teenagers, exactly, and a gangster. And some gangsters. It's actually really cool. Got a great cast too, by the way. George Kennedy again shows up in this one right here. Alex Cord is in this as well. Some people are going to remember Alex Cord as from the series. Okay, what's the name of it again? Airwolf. I kind of want to see the new Men in Black. I don't know. We'll see. Clu Gallagher is in this. He does a really good job in this as well. This is another good one. Clu Gallagher is one of those guys that is really underrated when it comes to character roles. Gallagher is a really good actor, and he does some really... He's kind of a big, kind of a hefty guy that you can see playing a lot of villainous roles, but he does these really quirky roles as well. A lot of people were probably going to remember Clu Gallagher, not for his westerns and stuff like that, probably for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, where he plays the dad of Jesse in that film. And of course, he was in Jeff Burr's film, the anthology film that he did as well, that I can't remember the name of right now. There's a couple names on it. I can't remember, sorry guys. But The Uninvited, definitely want to check it out. Next up is one that I bought recently at Bay Street Video, but I'll be honest with you guys, haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So I don't have a lot to talk about on this film. I just know that's one I wanted to pick up. I love the cover. And it looks like one of those kind of cool, cheesy action films directed by Robert Vincent O'Neill, and that is Wonder Woman. If anybody's seen this one, definitely let me know because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. From Whisper to... Thank you, Brian. It was killing me, by the way, in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm gonna be chill. I'm going to pretend it doesn't bother me. It bothered me. Thank you. Wonder Woman. I haven't checked this one out yet. Again, it's got the extended European version of this one on here as well. Q&A from 2007. Again, well, apparently it says martial arts madness, dangerous chase scenes. It's a decent action movie. Insult heavy dialogue. vague sci-fi twist and a whole lot more nudity and violence than its very misleading PJ rating will give you. So here's like again another fantastic artwork. I really like that. Man, I like them both. I like both the artwork on these. So again, fantastic artwork either way with Wonder Woman. Trashy Lady, Ginger Lynn. Harry Reams is in this as well, right? Yeah, Harry Reams, Amber Lynn, Herschel Savage. If you know those names already, Bunny Blue, if you know those names already, then you're probably already sold on this film. If you don't, and you don't like films that are of the X-rated variety, probably not going to want to watch that. It's mixed. I got to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I'll watch it eventually. I got so much to get to. But Trashy Lady, definitely a fun film. It's kind of like it's an X-rated Pygmalion, like turned around, or My Fair Lady, either way. Ice Cream Man. If you haven't checked out this one, again, this one's really fun. Most people have this one from that. What's really cool about this one, I don't have Liquid Assets yet. Actually, I've seen Liquid Assets a long, long time ago, and it's one that I liked, so it will be one that I will pick up. Did you enjoy it? Because it's been ages. I mean, like probably VHS days since I saw that film. And I can't imagine how good it looks now compared to what it looked like in the VHS days. But yeah, Trashy Lady is a fun one. Ice Cream Man. What's really good and what's really neat about this is a lot of people are like rediscovering Joe Bob Briggs on Shudder, of course. You know, the last drive-in that he does. Now on this here, they have the Joe Bob Briggs Ice Cream Man Monster Vision. So if you want to check that out, yep, they did put out Liquid Sky. I don't have that one yet myself, John, but Liquid Sky was put out by Vinegar Syndrome, actually, and that's one that was one of their bigger sellers. It's original slipcover edition is sold out, but you can still get the regular edition. All the features are the same. It's only the slipcover that's different. And if you're a fan of Liquid Sky, which does have, if I remember correctly, it has a really good soundtrack. Not with Ron Howard, with Ron Howard's brother, actually, with Clint Howard. The more awkward looking of the Howards. Yeah, definitely had a really nice slip to that one. Oh, I figured you did. Yeah. Very cool one. Commentary with the director, but I think one of the big selling points, aside from finally having the classic Ice Cream Man on Blu-ray, is to have that Monster Vision as well. So if you're a fan of Joe Bob Briggs and you don't have Ice Cream Man, you're going to get some Joe Bob Briggs goodness on this disc. Now, with that being said, we're coming to the collector's editions, the ones that, with the slips that everybody always asks me about, even after I've just done one of these here that they watched. They'll say, "Can you show this?" or what exactly are the slips like? How good are they done? Well, let's start. So, actually, yes, he was. He was in two of them, actually. B-Movie Archives. Clint Howard is in two, I think. No, one of them. Sort of. He's in part 4 of Silent Night, Deadly Night, for sure. And I think he has a small part in part 5 as well, with the character of the same name, but it's probably not the same character. So this is if you want to get Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5, was put out here in Canada under the, God, what's the label? Sorry, guys. It's Lionsgate. So this is put up by Lionsgate. I think this, as far for right now, this is the only way that I remember that you can actually get these films. Maybe there's a way like in another country, but like this is the only one that I know for. So first up is Jack Frost, lenticular cover, fantastic, fun, cheesy little film with a very young, well, not very young, she's like, I guess around 20 or so. Well, Shannon Elizabeth is in this film as well, who will become, I guess, more famous for the American Pie films. But Shannon Elizabeth has quite a unique death sequence in Jack Frost. I'll just leave it there. I will actually take this out and show you guys what it looks like on the inside. The first slip that they ever did. You're right, actually. Was it? Or was I thought Undertaker was the first slip? Okay, Undertaker was the second slip. This was the first one. She keeps on. She should, because that's quality. It's quality stuff, Stephanie. It's quality stuff. So you get to see, and of course, it's going to be pretty Frosty. It's a killer Frosty the Snowman. I do hope that they put out the sequel. I actually had a lot of fun with the sequel. The sequel of Jack Frost actually is the second step. Thanks. I knew it was something like that. I can always count on you, man, for knowing the stuff. The Jack Frost is one of those, like, the sequels, they went in a weird direction. It's like, okay, we've done Jack the Frost. It's better killer snowman. What? Jack the Frost. Jack the Frost. Jack Frost, the killer snowman. What are you going to do next? Well, if we're going to do a sequel, we might as well make it a Gremlins ripoff. I wish they made Jack Frost 3. Be interesting to see. So, next up here, and I'm not going to do these in any particular order, so is Phyllis Davis, who I really like in Sweet Sugar. If you don't have this one, definitely want to pick up. Shannon, she's amazingly beautiful. I love that. The fact that they put out like a great addition to Jack Frost was incredible. That tells you the type of company the Vinegar Syndrome is. That they'll take a movie like that which is legitimately like a B grade film, and actually which has a lot of fans, and really put like a lot of work into it. That's like this one here, Sweet Sugar. Great film, actually, a really good film. It's Phyllis Davis was in the TV series Vegas, if you remember that, the Robert Urich series. Really good film. Way better than I expected. I almost missed out on this slipcover. As you can see, I'll just show you something here. So this is the inside. As you can see, it has really good interior artwork. The slipcovers for Vinegar Syndrome are really hard, and a really great stock card that they use on here. Great slipcovers, and you get like some slipcovers and you see, and they're bending and they're creasing and all that type of stuff right away, and they're kind of thin, and you're worried they don't get ripped. Vinegar Syndrome got a really good. Sweet Sugar with the slip Warlock is out of print. I don't think Sweet Sugar is out of print. Now, that being said, I haven't been on the website since it came back. I've been on the website maybe once since it came back up to look at some stuff, because obviously I was on go in Cornbrook for a while, and then I got back here, and I had to get things straightened away. So, but Sweet Sugar, I do recommend it if it's available. Definitely pick it up. Out of all the Norman J. Warren films that they put out, this Wacko for sure. Also this. Some people find this like being odd, like kind of a slower one. Scotta got the slip this one there. And this is Prey. I do like this one. It's an odd film. It's a weird film. I like character studies, and I find Prey to be very much of a character film, and a different film, kind of a weird film. And again, this is another one where the the slipcover version I think is gone, but we still get it without the slip. It kind of looks like I was a teenager werewolf right there, but actually I thought this was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. I will get anything Norman J. Warren. I do recommend anything of his that comes out. Even this one right here, which is a very strange film, Terror. Now Terror had one of those kind of dual slips where you got like either way you put it, you got like a really cool cover. I like when Vinegar Syndrome does this. This is basically Norman J. Warren says, "I've seen Suspiria. I think I'm going to make my version of Suspiria." Do not expect to see Suspiria like level qualities in this movie here. I'm just saying it. I'll actually get to that one, Warlock. Apologize, just got to get my tea because I'm a little bit on the part side. So again, so you got like those two slip covers, and then you get this amazing looking cover on the inside. You gotta love Terror. It's a really fantastic film. Thanks to James Hayes, actually, for getting me this one, because it was out of print by the time that I even knew it existed, and he sent it to me. So I got big props on that one. Next up is, it's not really such a slash film. Give me a second there, but the Prey more so is kind of a. There's like it's an alien creature. Like he's an alien, like he's like a half human, a half alien, like kind of half animalistic type creature. And there's murder in it, but it's a different style film. Definitely check it out. What I think you're thinking of is the Prey, which is coming out from from Arrow Video. It was announced, and people thought that it was going to be a was an April Fool's Day joke at first, but actually it is. What you're thinking of is the Prey, and it's got like an axe on the VHS cover. I think that's the one that you're thinking of. No, like the one you're thinking that one you're thinking of is the one is coming up by Arrow Video. Arrow Video is putting that one out in the future. So good luck, good news. Well, good luck that the movie that you mentioned was one that has been wanting released for a long time. Just recently, Arrow announced that it's coming out, so it's good news. But still, that Prey is really good. It's not a slash film; it's still really good. This is one that I do recommend, and this is Incubus. Again, if you have not listened to the first Just to This podcast that I did with Brian, this was one of the films that we talked about. And I gave this one the highest rating that I could give, like a Vinegar Syndrome title. And I do think that this belongs, if you've got a Vinegar Syndrome collection in your home, this baby belongs in it. It's a really good film. It's a really different film. John Cassavetes is actually great. John Cassavetes is pretty great anyway, but he's super great in this. Oh, Alligator would be a really great release. I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome release that one. Or maybe even Arrow. But still, Vinegar Syndrome does some great... I haven't turned the cover on. What's the cover on? Let's see the other cover on this one. Oh. One of your favorite... Me too. Like, I'm not sure, John, if you heard like the podcast that we did on that. It's just this podcast we spoke about Incubus, and we spoke about another film that I'm about to show on here in a second, and I gave this like my highest, definitely my highest rating when it comes to the stuff that Vinegar Syndrome does. It's just amazing. Oh, you did? Oh, thanks. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the second one too. Is that how you found my channel? Just by perchance? But because I always wonder. But yeah, definitely, I agree. I concur with John. This is a must. This is hands down a must-have for anybody that wants to collect the Vinegar Syndrome. The next one's kind of fun. I wouldn't say it's a must. That's for sure. And a lot of people, they're not going to like this one. I thought it was fun. It all depends on you when you're going in, what your expectations are going to be. Oh, nice. I hope you enjoyed here, and welcome, by the way. It says Deadly Daphne's Revenge. Now, Deadly Daphne's Revenge, spoiler alert, doesn't have a lot of Deadly Daphne in it. In fact, aside from a couple sequences, she's not really a major force in the plotline. It's a fun one. It's strange. It starts off. Isn't it weird? You got some recommendation. See, that's the thing. When this movie came out, right away I had a lot of people, Steph. I've got a lot of people asking me, should they pick up this movie, and it was a hard one to say. It's an interesting film. It's different. It's not a rape revenge movie in the way people are going to think a rape revenge movie is being done. It's not that. It's not like Mother's Day either. It's not like in a way, one way it's like Mother's Day. And it's not a super slasher film. It's unique. Deadly Daphne's Revenge is definitely unique. I'm glad I got it. It was like I think they only did this through slipcover. Did they release this afterwards without slipcover? I'm not sure. I don't think they did. The other title for it is The Hunting Season. Oh, this is one of the ones that they weren't going to make more. See, that's the thing. As soon as I hear that they're only making so many of these, gotta grab it. Really? Well, to be fair, Pets. I really love Pets, dude. It's different. I mean, like, don't go in expecting a regular rape revenge film. You're not going to get it. Don't go and expect like a tremendous amount of nudity or violence. It's just a weird, odd little film that kind of like floats outside of the regular perimeters of what you'd expect. If you go in expecting not expecting much, like either way, And like, I'm not saying it's a bad film. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's really different. Yeah, it is definitely goofier. Way goofier. Now, the other movie that I talked about, John knows this one, was this movie right here. Blood Harvest with Tiny Tim. Again, I'm a huge fan. It's not for everybody, Tiny Tim, but I guess Peter Krause is probably the most famous name that came out of this one, right? But I really enjoyed it. I always really enjoyed this film. I love Blood Harvest. Thought it's a really fun film. I thought Tiny Tim was like really good in it, and it's super weird. It's a super cheesy film, but it's a lot of fun. And the comical part is, yeah, that I watched this one. I was talking to Brian about this too. We're like, when with my oldest when she was younger, watch this. I've seen the Bat People. I think I got the Bat People here on MGM actually. Great Double Feature, which good idea actually. I got Shanks here. That's from Olive. I think it's from Olive, right? I'm pretty sure it's Olive release that I got for Shanks, or the release I got I think is Olive. Stunt gimmick casting. He does really good here. I think that if they would have went in a slightly different direction, and I think you know what I mean, they could have franchised it, but they didn't go in that direction. So next up is one that was mentioned on here, and that is the Magnificent Demon Wind. And this is pretty much low budget Evil Dead is what it is. And it is super, super fun. Bat People. I haven't got, I know this came out on Blu-ray. I got the old edition, but I don't have the new one. Thank God these discs are almost done because I'm having a blast, but I'm also losing my voice. Demon Wind, if you don't have it, I recommend it. It's fun. This one's a lot of fun. Like I always say, the one thing that I say to, yeah, I know, and this was such an amazing slipcover and a great film too. What other movie? Oh yes, now it's kind of like Evil Dead, like below budget Evil Dead. Remember that. But I'm going to tell you one thing, B Movie Archive, that I think is going to sell you on this film. Are you ready for this? In this movie, there's two brothers who they know Kung Fu, right? But one of them doesn't just know Kung Fu, he's also a magician. So it's like, he's a Kung Fu magician. Did that sell you on it? Kung Fu magician? If you want to see Kung Fu magician and his brother, yeah. They actually used an adult film actress playing one of the kind of the lead demons on here in one sequence. I can't remember what her name is now. Somebody will actually probably say it there in the comment section. But they say, oh, it's taking equal inspiration from Evil Dead and the visual aesthetics of the early 1980s. Oh, really? Did they? Oh, that's awesome. Draft House, you rock. And equal parts Lucio Fulci. So, gotta love that. You like blaxploitation and hard house films like together? Well, then you gotta pick up. And I reviewed this one with my better half. Sweet Sweetback's badass song. So this is done by Melvin Van Peebles. It's a young Mario Van Peebles in it as well in the opening sequence. This is, for many people consider this the genesis of blaxploitation film genre. Great film, an odd film, equal parts blaxploitation, art house, industrial style film. Definitely a unique film. A lot of people are like that because that's a pretty rough scene at the beginning. But apparently, you know, a lot of the stuff that he took in this film were taken from actual experience. I'm not sure if this makes it better or worse, but from actual experiences that Melvin Van Peebles had, or experiences that he'd heard about. So definitely different film stuff. Definitely one worth checking into, John. I mean, like, it's a really good film. There's some great features. I do recommend listening to the interview with Melvin Van Peebles. It's really, really good, actually. And he shows a bit of his artwork as well, because he is also an artist too. Now, not enough people talk about this film. Vinegar Syndrome put out a movie called Psycho Cop Returns. Now, this is actually a sequel to a movie, Psycho Cop, which is okay. Psycho Cop Returns is actually one of those times when when the sequel is better than the original film. Like I saying, like much better than the original film. But I'd still like to see them put out Psycho Cop. Now, it's kind of comedy. There's definitely a strong comedy aspect to this, and to put it to you, Adam Rifkin directed this film, so you might want to look at Adam Rifkin's work, but because he's obviously, this is a bigger director. This is a guy who did Detroit Rock City and stuff like that. So yeah, that's that Adam Rifkin. So he's actually a big name film director. So this is actually a really good one. There's some great interviews on it. It's like a kind of a 43-minute like documentary. I think Adam Rifkin's name too. And maybe they could have been distributed by different companies. Not quite sure. Sometimes that happens. You'll see like a movie will come out and then the sequel will come out by a different company. Really, give it another shot. I mean, it's a fun little film. It's one that when I originally saw it, Steph, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it that much. That was back in the VHS days. But I bought it after. It's kind of like Maniac Cop. It's definitely a movie that's inspired. But don't go in expecting Maniac Cop. But it is a cop that kills like people that he thinks are, he pretty much he's a psychotic cop. He wears like a kind of, he's got like a satanic symbol that he uses, and if you like gore and nudity and like very tongue in cheek, and I think this one here, oh God, Julie Strain, yeah, Julie Strain's in this one here, so you're gonna get to see Julie Strain in there. So if you're a fan of hers as well, she's in this movie. Definitely a fun watch. I recommend Stephanie, just give it another shot. It's a fun little film. It's one of the ones that I could actually watch with my better half. She actually kind of enjoyed it. For the humor aspects of it, at least. Oh my God, my voice going. Let's get through this. Sudden Fury I haven't seen in years, John. I would recommend Sudden Fury. It's a exploitation film. It's a thriller. And I'm sure you know about it, obviously, if you're asking me about the film. But it's one that I liked back in the day, and it's one that is on my list of movies that I do need to pick up. So I would personally pick it up. I really like Sudden Fury back. Oh, and Stephanie really, really dug Sudden Fury. That for me is, and I'm going to get it thing. So if I had not seen Sudden Fury before, I'm Canadian, so I have, but if I hadn't seen Sudden Fury before and heard Stephanie say she really dug it, that's a yes. That's a get it. Corpse Grinders. Did you like Evil Cats? This is Ted V. Michaels, of course. My favorite Ted V. Michaels movie is still Astro Zombies, which is put up by Kino Lorber. But they put out this one here, and it's a fun film, cheesy, co-written by Arch Hall Senior. Different. I enjoy this one, but it is like super low budget and super cheesy. His films can be hit or miss depending on what you like. I liked Astro Zombies more than Corpse Grinders, but still, it's definitely a fun film. And I'd say like check out a trailer on it, just see if it's your type. Now the next one here, Ray Down a Stickler. You think we'll ever get like a really good edition of the Incredible Strange Creatures that stopped living and became mixed up zombies? Because that'll be awesome. Oh, Astro Zombies, dude. That's hilarious. Tears were going down my face watching Astro Zombies, especially where the zombie comes in and he gets the thing knocked off him that like gives him like the solar power. So he's got to put a flashlight to his head and run with it. Classic sequence. Yeah, speaking of Ted V. Michaels, because we just were, and earlier we mentioned AGFA and mentioned like Ed Wood and AC Stevens. This now, this is definitely a film. Oh yes. Yes. Yes, yes, Orgy of the Dead. I enjoy this film. It is it's a film. It's sort of a film. It's if you're ever like, man, can nudity be boring? It can be, but it'll be still fun nonetheless. So it's definitely a different film. It's got a decent commentary track in here as well. If you if you like movies by Ed Wood and of course director A.C. Stevens, and you like yeah, look at the slipcover. Look at this. It's a day glow slipcover, guys. Look how sexy that is. This slipcover alone should have you owning this movie. I think this slipcover is still available too. I'm pretty sure if this slipcover is still available, just grab it because you know, fun little film. It's Jamie Mendoza. Come, let me take you in my golden arms. Orgy of the Dead. With Criswell and a bevy of beautiful girls for adults only. I am seeing to the future of me having to rewatch this. Yes, I'm going to rewatch this stuff because I'm going to do like an Ed Wood night here at the house. Orgy of the Dead. Do you dare bring the Orgy of the Dead into your own? Okay, next up is the classic The Undertaker with Joe Spinell. I actually really like this film. It's actually, it is actually a great part. That's actually the first time I saw it, Steph. Well, I saw it at my dad's. He actually bought the VHS of it back in the day. I went up and I picked up like, I was at a Blockbuster. Hundreds of movies are made. This is one of them. Like that. I was picking up a couple of Mystery Science Theater once. I picked up like Mitchell and Pod People that day, and Dad picked up Orgy of the Dead. So we came home and we watched Orgy of the Dead, and we watched Mitchell after that. My dad's home. So this is The Undertaker, Joe Spinell. Definitely recommend this one. Great release. It is really good. Like, it's Joe Spinell's last film. This is what Joe Ferrer is right on. I mean, like, this is a great double feature with Maniac. It really is. And this is the way to own this. Code Red put out a version of this film. I don't recommend it. This is the way this movie should be seen with the right like elements, film elements in there. The funky finger, yeah, it is kind of neat, hey? Now next up is one that I wasn't sure of, but ended up being better than I thought. Because I was iffy on it when I first saw it. But it was part of the package. I'm like, okay, I'll get it. I'm going to get the package, so, you know, it's going to be included. And that is Death by Temptation, which I actually kind of ended up digging. Kareem Hardison is in this. From, if you're older like me, then you know him from a different world. I already own Pieces, actually, the Grinders releasing one. It's a fantastic one. They probably did, you know. Back in the day when I used to I used to sell some films with my dad, I used to get people coming in when there'd be widescreen editions, and you got to know what this is like. Anybody that's ever worked in a video store or anything like that knows this. And they'll come and say, "I think there's something wrong with this movie. Part of the screen's missing." And I'm like, "No, what do you mean?" I said, "You know," I said, "No, like the top and bottom, it's gone. Like, so I'm missing that part of the screen." And so eventually, I had to put a sign out that showed, like, you know, this, you're not missing stuff. You know, this is what happens with a, you know, when the screen is not done. Yeah, it's like when you're watching James Bond movies and you don't realize, hey, Dolph Lundgren's in this film. I don't know this, but I can't see him because he's on the side that's off the screen. I think that's the last one that Roger Moore did. So Death by Temptation, kind of a succubus one. Kareem Harrison, Cynthia Bond, and speaking of James Bond, there's a guy in this, by the way, by the name of James Bond III. So there you go. And a little-known actor that you may not have heard of before, by the name of Samuel L. Jackson. I know, one of those actors that That's, you know, a bit of an unknown. He'll get there one day. Hey, I didn't get to see that yet. Actually, I did see it kind of pop up for a second, Jace. But the thing is, it goes so fast on Instagram when the messages pop up there. Thank you. From what I saw, thanks a lot. Are you ready for a movie that is so strange? Yeah, dude, this dude Samuel L. Jackson. You look pretty young in the last movie I saw, man. Okay, so this is The Killing Kind. Now, The Killing Kind is not what I expected from this film. It's really good, actually. It's a southern. I do think of this kind of like a Southern Gothic style film. It does have this. Did you ever want to strangle your mother? Hopefully not. But the guy in this movie did. And this has, oh God, what's her name? Actually, John Savage is in this, and but there's an actress. Ian Southern is in this one. And the girl, Cindy Williams, right? Sure, Cindy Williams. From like Laverne and Shirley. This is actually kind of a classy film for Vinegar Syndrome, I'm not going to lie to you. Not that they don't have classy films, but it's different than I expected. And I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was a bit of a slow burn, a bit more of a psychological film. But I did really enjoy it. I like the Southern Gothic style films. And if I was going to put this with one, if I was going to like double feature with something, The Killing Kind, maybe Scalpel. By Arrow Video would be actually a good double feature with this one. Both kind of slow burn films. Next up is a classic, which I know somebody here has 2 copies of, Pets. I love Pets. I've got a special connection to this film, basically because my mom used to own a convenience store, and we bought some movies from there before they're like to rent. But the guy, when we got there, the guy basically, he said, well, I didn't keep the cases because he got like screwed up in a flood, but here's the movies. And we checked, I had to go through all the movies to make sure the movies weren't hurt. And Pets was one of those movies. Not Secret Life of Pets, but definitely one to check out. This is a really, actually has some good actors in this film. We got like Candace Rolson plays the lead role. Ed Bishop, of course, was in UFO, and Joan Blackman, who acted with Elvis in Blue Eye, and Mike Cartel, who was in another kind of fantastic Vinegar Syndrome film called Runaway Nightmare, which has to be seen to be believed, because worm farmers. And so, Pets, definitely check it out. I don't want to spoil this one for you. It's definitely a different film. I really enjoyed it. But that's me, and I'm weird, so we'll see if you like it too. I don't know. I mean, like, I would expect, is that coming by 88 Films? I expect 88 Films are gonna put that out too. And I bet you Steph is going to tell you that Brad's not going to be happy about it. That's for sure. But because they put a lot of work into Pets, and you can tell the work that they put into Pets. It is. I saw this film back in the VHS days, and Pets looks really, really good. They did a great job with that release, and it's one that I do recommend. Now, you want a cool 80s film, kind of something to lay back and just like kind of watch, just kind of a really fun film, feel good about yourself, and like feel good about like watching cinema in general. It's My Chauffeur. See, I can understand why, Steph. I can understand. I can understand the math thing too. I'm not a big math fan myself. My better half is a scientist, and I'm like not the best with math. So there we go. My Chauffeur, Deborah Foreman. You will totally fall in love with Deborah Foreman in this film. She is amazing. A great film. Actually has Flash Gordon in it himself. Isn't it great? Like she is so good, and she is one of the most likable actresses, like Amy Steele. Deborah Foreman and Amy Steele, 2 of the most likable actresses, like in cinema, especially in horror stuff. But she is so good in this, and she is one of those girl. Honestly, I would totally have fallen in love with the character in this one here. Flash. I'm not even going to try to sing this Queen song, Flash Gordon, but yes, that's Sam here, Sam Jones. Also got Howard Hessman in here, Penn Jillette, and of course Penn and Teller. Definitely check out Scholar. It's a really good one. And for me, Sean McClory, E.G. Marshall, John O'Leary, great cast in this film here. And if you haven't checked it out, definitely recommend it. A lot of great features. And one of the super sexiest covers that they did. Look at this. It's interesting. I've got like when it comes to like 88 Films Vinegar Syndrome, I got the release for Splatter University actually. I got the Vinegar Syndrome and the Splatter University release that came out from 88 Films because there were different features. And I bought the 88 Films one like years before, well, but a year or so before. But I was not going to miss a Vinegar Syndrome release with Splatter University. No way in heck was I going to miss that. Now, oh my God, where's the DVDs at? I'll try and find the DVDs. Anyway, the last in the Blu-ray selection right here is Bloodbeat. Do you like Ghost Samurais? Of course you do. Everybody likes Ghost Samurais. This is Bloodbeat. Don't you love this cover? Is this not a sexy cover? It's a weird film, but it's a fun film. I actually enjoyed this one. This is a French-U.S. co-production, and it shows. It actually does. It shows it's French. But I'm gonna bring you guys over with me because I've got a couple like Vinegar Syndrome like DVD releases, so you kind of need to see those, don't you? Yeah, I love the hearse. Christmas. It is a Christmas movie. Steph, I never remember that for like my Christmas watches, but I got to do that. I don't own the hearse right now, but I actually I own older copies of the hearse, but I don't have the recent release that came up from Vinegar Syndrome, and I really need to get it. That's on my list of ones to get actually on the new sale. I'm trying to choose between getting like a lot of the regular stuff. Actually, check out their sale coming out in May. That's when you're going to find a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome come out, like at a really cheaper price. You guys that come around with me here, well, I actually look for my Vinegar Syndrome DVD releases, which I'm pretty sure are over here somewhere. Or am I going to have to do this another time? Because we're getting on to like we're getting into way over the hour and two hour range when it comes to ones here. I thought I had my Vinegar Syndems right here. See, sale times for Vinegar Syndrome. Like I do recommend picking up their packages. I always like trying to support them with some of their packages. I'd say with that, grab like their Halloween package I grab their Halloween package every year. I want to make sure that I'm not just getting stuff in the sale, that I'm actually I'm truly supporting them by getting the regular stuff as well. And I do try to do that, especially for the October package. The Vinegar Syndrome October package has become like a staple in my house. Yeah, see, that's it. Vinegar Syndrome is the thing that gets you here for the whole stream, because they're the guys that do it. I do apologize. I got Vinegar Syndrome VHS around here. VHS, sorry. No, I don't have that. I got Vinegar Syndrome like DVD around here, but I, for the life of me, can't seem to place my hands upon it right now. And I am sure as soon as this video ends, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to look, and I'm going to say, oh, there it is. There's the Vinegar Syndrome releases. Yeah, the VHS would be awesome, wouldn't it? But there we go. Apparently, this is where we finish off for the Vinegar. This is driving me crazy, guys. Give me another second. Walk around with me here in the movie library so we can actually see if there's Vinegar Syndrome around here. What do you think, guys? I'm still blown away that as many. Oh, there we go. See? If you're on my Twitter, by the way, thank you so much for letting the movie library picture get over 2,000 likes. That kind of blew me away. I really didn't expect that. Okay, so I've only got a couple of the DVDs, but I want to show them to you anyway. This is when you get when you see DVD stuff, then it is going to be usually the more adult stuff. It did kind of go, it was so freaky. I mean, it was just, I said, I can't make a video, but I want to do something. So I just snapped some pictures, and I came back, oh, it's got a couple hundred looks. I was like, likes, that's fantastic. So I never get that. I get like 10 likes, 20 likes on tweets. And then I come back an hour later, and it's gotten to like 500, and it's gotten to 1,000, it's gotten to 2,000. So I'm like, Yes, thank you. And anybody that retweeted it, thanks a lot. Dracula Sucks. This is definitely an adult film, but it's actually a pretty good, actually, vampire film. It's Jamie Gillis, who was actually one of the better like adult film star actors, and this has two editions of the film here. It's got Dracula Sucks, and it isn't a, yes, this is an adult film, and Lust at First Bite. Both of these are like adult versions of the film. It actually has an audio commentary, which is what I like. Actually, back in the day, this came out. The X-rated version of this actually ended up on my regular shelf. They didn't realize it was an X-rated film. So young, you know, I think 14-year-old Aaron went and picked this up and rented it and watched it. Interesting. It is. Actually, it's pretty good. John Holmes actually is in this one, actually, I think, as well. Also kind of a weird one. One that I had to pick up because it had like a few different films with it. And I wanted it more for the extra features than anything else. But it is a strange film. And that is one called Sex in the Comics. Now, Sex in the Comics is an... young Aaron was super surprised and happy, I'm not going to lie. And it tries to make an adult film, but it tries to have the aesthetic of Sunday funnies with weird, unique... I can't show you the back of this, but it's different. And what's neat about it is that it has some like kind of like adult cartoons as well. It has something here called the Sex Tunes, which was an 82-minute long film, and the Funky World of Adult Cartoons, which is 45 minutes long. I wanted it for that too. So basically, historical reasoning, I wanted that one. It's not an adult film that you're going to watch for any other reason than that, to be totally honest with you. It's one of those, it's kind of just fun and unique. Next up is one that is rated X, but it's not an adult film. Actually, I don't think so. Maybe some aspects, but not really. And that is Cutthroats. And if you're familiar with Grave the Vampire, which is coming out, or maybe it's coming out by now, from Scream Factory, then Grave the Vampire, starring William Smith and Michael Pataki, the director of Grave the Vampire is the director of The Cutthroat. Now, this was a limited edition Vinegar Syndrome release. There was 1,500 of these done. I do think this one may have been gone out of print now, but it took forever to go to print, if it has. I actually like this one. Did you like this one, Steph? I watched it one night. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Actually, Michael Pataki shows up at the beginning of the film, kind of as a favor for John. Is it John Hayes? Yeah, John Hayes, who directed the film. Are you ready for some fun stuff? Are you ready for some really fun stuff? This is like my face way too close up, guys. And that is the drive-in collection. You can't go wrong with the Vinegar Syndrome drive-in collections. So there is Death Force here. I love this movie. And this, I think Death Force, is it? Are they both by? Yes, they are both by the great, the fantastic Cirio Santiago. I love Cirio Santiago. $4? That's a good price now. Yeah, because he did put on the half price, didn't they? I was really pimping that film to people. I need more of these in my life. I need more of these drive-in collection ones in my life. Vampire Hookers is on here as well. Both of these are really fun films. You're going to have a blast watching these. Cirio Santiago is really good. And Death Force is hilarious. And so is Vampire Hookers. Especially there's this guy that's kind of like a Renfield-y type character. And he desperately wants to be a vampire throughout most of the film. It's really fun. If you don't have this on, like Steph, Brian, like B-Movie Archives, Warlock, everybody here, if you don't have this one, I do recommend it. This is going to be fairly cheap. This is going to be around $4 or $5 when the sale comes out, and I do recommend it. How many times did I say recommend it there? Drinking game time. Last but not least, thank God, because my voice is going, though I gotta say I've been having a blast here with you guys. You guys rock, and the fact that B-Movie Archives, you are the marathon man coming out for the whole thing. And that is Runaway Nightmare. So Runaway Nightmare is a movie by Mike Cartel, and I really dig this film. It's a weird film, but it's weird in a way of like, you're kind of glad that you saw the film. And you kind of say, you know, this is really strange. but I gotta recommend it. And Runaway Nightmare is like, just like the cover. Look how cool. When first you see it, and you see the girl and that, and then you see those faces. And have you got this one, Steph? Let me regale you with what Runaway Nightmare is about, because I really think that has to be done. And this still is not going to really explain the film to you, but here we go. After discovering a woman buried alive, 2 Death Valley worm farmers are kidnapped by an all-female city cult of gunrunners, who, after making the men into their sex slaves, force them to assist in a plan to steal a suitcase full of plutonium from the mafia. Combining black comedy with elements of horror, action, thriller, and surrealist cinema, director, writer, producer, editor, star Mike Cartel, who did Pets, by the way, Runaway Nightmare stands as one of the most fiercely unique works of outsider cult cinema to emerge from the 70s and the 80s. If that does not sell you on Runaway Nightmare, I do not know what will. Definitely one to check out. If you got pets, you're going to need Runaway Nightmare. Isn't that it does, doesn't it? It's super crazy, Andy. It is super, super crazy. And I can't think of a better video from Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, exactly. What never gets the pop from the cover than that one right there. So you got a few more movies there on your to get list, or at least your watch list, B Movie Archives. I am Aaron. I am losing my voice. I apologize for the earlier portion of the video where we had some trolling and stuff like that. Unfortunately, a bit of that is beyond, but you know, it's part of the live thing. That can't happen. But we managed to soldier through that aspect of it and get an actually, I think we did a pretty epic over here. Jace, perfect. I will probably be on Jace's channel in the near future talking about Western films. So keep an eye out for that. Because basically what's going to happen is, oh, it's not your fault, Culture Trini. Trust me. There's a person that's like, it's a hit job on me too. You have nothing to be sorry for, and don't you ever feel sorry for that stuff, man. Yeah, keep an eye on Jason's channel, because he will be schooling me in Westerns, and I'll be like listening and putting my 2 cents in every once in a while. That's for sure when that happens. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't checked it out, as announced here first on this channel, Brian announced that the Just to This podcast episode for, and I got the podcast here, has just dropped for, let me just check. Yep, I'm actually downloading it right now. Just to This podcast, there's nothing wacko at Splatter University. It's out right now. So please check it out, and if you can, give it a like, give it a review, and hopefully a nice review. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching tonight. I had a blast. It's coming back after a long weekend, and I got a bunch of Vinegar starting to put back. Have a great evening. I am Aaron. You are the Movie Club, and as always, each and every one of you rock, and this is as good as you make it, and you guys make it fantastic. You really do. Have a great one, and we'll be doing another Vinegar Syndrome. We'll be looking into these right here, these books, closer to the Vinegar Syndrome sale.